Yeah, you are muted, Kargoz.
I was muted, yo. Are you kidding me, boys? Yo, it had to have some scuff, man.
Guys,
It had
would it not be
baby.
number 50? Would it not be a number 50 without being a little bit scuffed? Come on.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stream. We got the boys back together. You'd love to see it. That's basically all that I said. A bunch of other mumbo jumbo. Is everything else okay other than that, guys? Or how we doing?
Let me pull it up. I just had the thing up. Hold on.
Talking to myself for 30 seconds? Man, oh man.
There it is.
Woo! Feels good, man. We got a lot to talk about today. We have Hamsterweel here gracing us with his presence once again. You always love to see Hamsterweel on a podcast, dude. That's just, you love to see it. Hamster, man. Good to see you, bro.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on once again.
Dude,
Absolutely.
Love to have you on. One of the OGs of Classic WoW right there.
Absolutely. As OG as it gets, really. Yeah, absolutely. Can you guys hear the music, by the way? How's the music check? I can hear it, but...
hear the music. I can see the shaved head.
Nice,
it's
yes.
listening in my
Defcamp
eyes
was making fun of my peanut head a few minutes before. Prior.
He goes, guys, look at this. Check this out. And shows us a screenshot of a stream. And I'm like, oh, dude, what the fuck? You shaved your head. That's I trying to show you something else. But...
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
You know what?
So much to talk about. Just so much to talk about. Crazy times. Yeah, I mean, well, you know, I usually get a high and tight Defcamp, just to let you know, just to address that publicly.
I like it. I'm just fucking with you, brother.
Coronavirus, all the barbershops are closed, so I just had, you know...
Coronavirus!
Had to shave it. Dunedain, my man, dude, I feel like it's been a while, too, man. How are you, Dunedain?
It's been months, I think, since the last time. It's definitely been a long time. I still play WoW daily to every couple of days. Raid basically twice a week. But I'm moving houses in 2 days, so it's really been a busy period this week and the last few weeks.
Damn.
But it's good to be back. A lot of things happened. I think the most exciting thing that happened in WoW is that I actually got the Raptor mount of CG.
Nice.
No way, dude.
Yeah. And I won it legit. I mean, I didn't steal it as a guild master or anything. I just rolled for it like everyone else.
Sure you did it. Sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
Can we get some fellowship people in here to confirm?
Right?
I don't see anyone, but they will probably be here.
Okay. Here's the thing, right? It's number 50, Kargoz, right? Should we bless them with a loud and boisterous?
We have to do something special, though, man. Like, what can we do?
Sing it.
I can sing it.
Can you throw in a gnome death noise and let me see, like a I can't cast that yet or something too, like maybe.
All right.
All right.
Oh god, you guys put me on the spot. What the fuck?
It's all good,
all right,
man.
Here we go.
Just bless him. Hit him with something.
Here we go. Can I get like a drum roll or something? Like. There we go. Here we go. Go!
Ooh. Amazing form, dude. Oh my god.
Number 50.
Yo, it peaked out for like 3 seconds. That was outstanding form. Outstanding form, Defcamp. I gotta say.
Not a powerful one if the mic doesn't cut out. So there we go.
For real, dude. That was outstanding.
Was that good for number 50?
Worth it. Can we get an I can't cast that yet, or no? Or is that
I can't cast that yet.
I love Defcamp's gnome impersonations, man. This shit cracks me up so much.
There we go. All right.
Oh man. Well, it's good to see you guys back. I know it's been a bunch of weeks since we've done this. I love doing them, but it's just how I don't know, man. No excuses, but it's good to be back with you. A lot of stuff has happened. Crazy times we live in. It's hard to know exactly where to start. So we're kind of freestyling. What do you guys want to bring up first?
Well, I think the thing on a lot of people's mind has been Kargo's recent and my recent comeback to streaming, right? So we've also come back to streaming, but Kargo's has kind of redefined what it means to be a fucking streamer, and what it means to kind of give that really like good experience for the streamer. And like the hardcore streams have been absolutely amazing as of recently. All I gotta say is the aesthetics, the assets, the whole feel of it. I come in there and it feels like more like I'm watching Diablo than I am fucking WoW. But it's given me a whole new, just like totally reinvigoration into playing and into streaming. So
I swear I didn't tell him to say that. I swear that was 100%.
No,
not rigged. That's
There's
nice
also not a Raid Shadow Legend sponsor or anything. This podcasters.
True. But actually, if you want to sign up for Raid Shadow Legends, you can use pronoun. No, but yeah, they did reach out. They probably reached out to all you guys too. Those guys are going ham with the marketing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So how have you been, Hamster Man? I mean, I know you're not necessarily playing Classic anymore, but you still love, WoW in general, I assume, or maybe you don't. I'm not sure. Maybe you're playing, private server or something. What's been going on with you, my man?
Okay, so I've recently made a video talking about the best private servers I played on, and long story short, number one was Tari WoW, which is a Mist of Pandaria server. Now, Mist of Pandaria server is not exactly my favorite expansion. Again, if it was my top three, number one would be Burning Crusade, number two Classic, and number three Wrath. So it's kind of like on the bottom, but it is an expansion I didn't play a lot, and I really like. I don't like the scenery and the vibe necessarily, like everything Panda, everything Oriental. It's like kind of like all right, whatever. But what I do like is how classes play. I mean, I'm a big fan of Elemental Shaman and Balanced Druid, as you guys know. And the way Balanced Druids and especially Elemental Shamans play in Mist of Pandaria, I think it's super, super fun. It's a really cool rotation. So I actually felt like after making that video and going back to Tari to see, like, is it really as good as I remembered? I got that itch again to play Tari. So I'm actually just gearing up my Shaman there, and just occasionally waiting there. So
Wow.
it's
is there more than
a lot of fun.
100 people
Sorry?
playing that? Like, is there a good amount of people playing it?
Yeah, I mean, they share. They have two servers, which is the Evermoon, that's their international server, and then the Tari, which is the original one, which is like pure. I forgot. It's either Romanian or Hungarian. It's basically like a foreign server, so to say. And combined, they have like a total of like 1,500 people to 2,000 people. And they are two servers, but when you queue for a dungeon or a raid, like through, let's say, Raid Find or something like that, you do both those servers kind of like they're cross server basically.
I like that.
So you have a total of like 2,000 potential players that can queue up for anything. So when I play, even if I just want to do a dungeon as a DPS, the queue times aren't actually that long. Like sometimes they are, but on average they're like 5 to 10 minutes, and I have a dungeon pop. So if I join as a resto shaman, or even better like a tank or whatever as a druid, you get queues really fast. So you can like do dungeons no problem. There's several guilds out there that are still recruiting people. Like World Chat is active. I mean, if you go to like the main hubs, they feel kind of alive with like a good amount of people playing there. So, and the community is actually pretty damn nice. So I really like that. So there you go. I've been playing Tari.
Wow.
That's awesome, and I think this poses like a new question to me, at least. And to me, it's like there are definitely, I think, a lot of people who. I know a lot of people who Mist is actually their favorite expansion. They might have started playing like after Wrath and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But still. And I think it poses the question as to if we continue going down the classic route, where do we end? A lot of people say it would be natural to end at Wrath, right? The classic world ends at Wrath. However, I personally would not want to play classic Cataclysm, but I probably wouldn't mind maybe at least dabbling in classic Pandaria. You know what I mean?
Bro, can
like,
I admit
for
something?
me-
Can I admit something horrible?
Sure, go ahead.
Go for it.
Yeah.
All right, it's just us here, right? There's no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no chat. Yeah.
I kind of got super into the pet shit in Mr. Pandaria, man.
No, you didn't.
Oh
Yeah,
my
bro.
god.
I was
No,
over
you
at that.
did not.
I was over at
Gosh,
that
get him outta
island.
here. Get him the fuck out of here.
I was killing all the the Celestials, man. I had all the pets, man. Like 3x Anubisath idol. I was just dunking on kids with 3x Anubis. I got all the little the little bird.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. I've been playing Tari. I've never ever touched pet battles. I think it's really stupid. But anyway,
Kargoz, you
whatever
should not have
floats your boat,
you should not have said that.
Yeah, dude.
he just came out of the WoW closet like, sorry guys, I'm a pet battler.
Oh,
You know what? We all have our guilty pleasures. We all have.
Yeah, it's okay, Carl. We still love you. We still love you, bro.
All right, dude. Make an exception for me, all right? All the other pet
I'm
battles.
kidding, bro. You're kidding. It's all good. It's all good. Listen. You know what? It might have tingled your younger Pokemon. A lot of people, we grew up with Pokemon. A lot of people our age, right? And I understand that a lot of people, when they saw that when it first came out, they were like, "Oh my god, Pokemon!" You know what I mean? And I'm trying to come to your rescue, Kargoz, but it's not working.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
What did you like about it? I never played it. What did you like about pet battles?
I don't know. There was just kind of more of a meta than I thought. Like, I was watching some guides on it. Like, there was this kind of loose meta, and I thought it was kind of cool that somehow the OG pets too, like, the mini Diablo that some of the real, like, seriously OG players have in Vanilla WoW. Like, they even gave those old pets some different abilities and stuff. And like, they had certain pets that had a unique pet ability to that pet and stuff like that. It kind of blew my mind. I was like, yo, there's kind of like a meta to this, and you could, level them up really quick, and there's more items. And I don't know. So Mop was an expansion that I had the lowest expectations for. Like, I went into that and I was like, dude, this is not Warcraft. I like the dark, edgy, ambience. So I was like, this is like, I've never thought an expansion was so bad going into it. Like, never before. Warlords of Draenor I thought was kind of hype when they made the trailer and everything.
Well, I mean, look at the trailer for Mist, right? So many people saw that trailer and were like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah,
and I think that right there set the expectation. Yeah. Boom. Really low.
Yeah.
Why so much hate for Cataclysm, though? I thought it was kind of nice. It was just way too long without content.
Here's the thing, Dunedain. Cataclysm was great when it first came out. If you remember, like, heroic dungeons were hard.
Yeah, pre-nerf heroic dungeons were great.
Yeah, pre-nerf heroic dungeons, and then after that first patch, it just got horrible, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one of. I think it's like in the middle of the pack. I kind of like it better than everything past Panda.
I didn't like the rebirth of, like, the world. I really didn't like New Orgrimmar. I really didn't like a lot of the new zones. It felt like they just got some like some kid off the street who got the map of Azeroth and got, like, a couple crayons and was just like,
I know, man.
And it just did that.
I liked the idea. I prefer old Azeroth, I guess, but I liked the idea. And the first time I went into the new zones, I kind of liked it. But yeah,
it was definitely logical. I mean, I did that one bridge at Red Ridge Mountains, like that near the village, like it was like half destroyed. It made sense that it can't be like damaged for like 8 years or something. Like, at some point, it's got to be fixed. So it made sense.
I felt kind of hurt, man, when I saw some of the zones that we grew up with vanilla. Like, when you saw it wasn't the shimmering flats all underwater and everything, and the
oh my god,
the barrens had a bunch of lava in it stuff. Like, one of the things that bothered me a little bit about the revamp of the Cata world was that it was getting that light work, like that Michael Bay light work. It was starting to get that where, like, everything is like, there's these bright red, rich colors in the barrens now, and this lava kind of gushing through it, and it started to get like kind of that sensory overload, too fantastical. It started moving in that direction for me as far as, like, the simple, realistic zones that are so...
I didn't notice that very much. But for me, it's probably a minor thing, but the worst thing in that expansion, I think, was class trainers were useless. That's when they removed them, basically, right?
Right.
It's something I really like from the old expansions, basically. But just a minor thing. Other than that, I kind of liked it.
But this poses the question, like, where do we go with Classic? Like, do we continue down the path, or even if some of the expansions weren't that popular? Because
very good question,
here's the thing: someone brought this up in my stream the other day. What Shadowlands says to me is that WoW is literally going to the afterlife. What does that mean to me? That means WoW is dying, right? Like, think about it like this: the Shadowlands is like it's almost like I couldn't think of the word yesterday. Not logic. Whatever. It's fitting that the game is dying, right? The game is literally dying, and now it's going to the Shadowlands. It's going to the afterlife. So, like, is this Blizz kind of saying a metaphor? There you go. Is this Blizz kind of saying, like, hey guys, the game's dead. We're going to the afterlife. Here it is. This is the end. I don't know. Because didn't they announce something recently that they're seriously thinking about not continuing it? Or I heard something like that. Or is that just
what, after Shadowlands?
Yeah, I heard some kind of musters out of the darkness that it's possible that this could be the last expansion. I don't know.
Yeah,
WoW still like a huge cash cow to them though. So financially, does it make? I don't know. Like, I think they'll just drag it out for as long as they can until they're like, all right, we're not even breaking even anymore. Pull the plug. I think they'll just drag it out as long as they're making money. Especially now it's Activision Blizzard. Yeah. They just like, okay, just fill it up with useless crap. Like, it's I don't mean to.
Let's get some feedback here from the chat too. Like, I'm really curious if people think WoW is picking up steam as an IP as a overall. Like, if it's getting like stronger as the player base as a whole in WoW getting bigger. Is it going up the ladder or down the ladder. I don't know personally because we live in these bubbles, guys. We live in a fucking hamster wheel.
Does that include Classic WoW? Because
no disrespect, if you, but all I'm saying is, so I've been seeing a lot of press clippings come out for Shadowlands. Like, a lot of them. Like, people are hyping up Shadowlands. They're making it seem like World of Warcraft is getting this whole new, fresh coat of paint. Like, it's been so successful after all these years. So I just don't know what the read is. Like, I mean, I'm not going to play Shadowlands, just throwing it out there personally. But, you know, I don't know how to read that. Like, is WoW getting... Is it successful by the normies or what? I don't know. What do you guys think?
So, like, if you include Classic into that, then yes, right? It is getting better, I think. But if you just look at retail, I mean, I agree, Kargoz. There was so much hype going into Shadowlands, but now there's a lot of stuff coming out. I don't know if you've been I was watching some Asmongold stuff, and there are these new systems that are coming into place that a lot of people are disagreeing with, that a lot of people are not liking. So I think, I think honestly, what it comes down to is there are some people that are going to really, you know, get pushed into Shadowlands. But what happens is it going to, you know, revitalize the game? Are there going to be a ton of people playing it at the beginning? Yeah, there's going to be an expansion that comes out. You know, you always have an influx of players, but can it keep those people over time? You know, I think it really has to do with the system they're trying to go with. They're trying to change a lot in Shadowlands. They're trying to do things that they never really have done before, and that's either going to be really, really, really good for them or really, really bad for them.
Yeah.
But if you add Classic into that scenario, right, where is WoW getting the IP itself, then yes, the IP is growing, but I think it's more because of Classic.
Apparently there are more people playing retail than Classic. I heard somewhere like 2/3 retail, 1/3 Classic.
I sense that in my gut. Yeah, I definitely sense that in my gut, man.
And also, I have a couple of friends who never played WoW, like, ever, and they are my age, and suddenly I saw them appearing online. And at first they were playing retail. One of them switched to Classic and actually enjoyed it more, but the other one's still playing retail. I see more and more people in my friend list logging into retail as well, so there must be something appealing, I suppose. But I don't know what it is. But I think that the good thing is we have both options. So when we only had retail, I was always thinking, oh, I want to play WoW, but I don't like retail. So I rather play nothing because I wait on Classic. Yep. And now I'm playing Classic, and I don't care.
I'm so glad you said that, Dude. Again, you nailed it, bro. Like, I love that we live in this world, guys. Like, if anybody's alive listening to me right now, like, we have two options. Like, that is so nice for the history of WoW. Like, over the course of the entire history, options,
basically.
People. There's always people on the forums crying in every other direction, right? Like, so you have these. There's like the communities are kind of cut from different cloths, you know. Like, at least you cover a good amount of the interest now. Like, it's not like people are always going to be saying, "Oh, I wish it was like this. I wish it was like this." We have Classic, we have retail. That feels good, you know. I don't know.
Can I be honest? I've got an announcement, kind of like you did, Kargoz. That might make me look bad. So I can. So,
oh god.
So here's the thing, right? So, like, I think, and this kind of has no idea, but the Classic right now is in a bit of a lull, and I think Dunedain, what you're saying right now definitely makes sense, because Classic has gone in a lull after, like, it's been a long time since BWL's been out, right? When I stopped streaming, BWL was out. Like 3-4 months went by, and I'm started streaming again, and it's still BWL, right? So it's definitely been in a lull, and I think because of the Shadowlands hype and everything like that, a lot more people have been playing retail. To either get their characters leveled up and this and that. So, not that long ago, I had gotten invited to the beta, to the Shadowlands beta and the alpha and shit.
Really?
I didn't play it. I didn't play the alpha. I got the alpha like right at the end, right at the very end of the alpha. I have the beta now though, but I downloaded it. I didn't play it yet. However, at the end of when I played Legion, I had a shitload of gold, and I bought all of my time for Classic WoW with gold from Legion.
Yeah.
So this month I had run out of gold. All my money was gone. I didn't have any more time. So I said to myself, should I log in, play a little bit of BFA, get the gold, and buy a new? So I did. So I was playing for about a week. I was playing BFA.
That's a little bit longer than
not a week, a week fully, like off and on, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like an hour here, an hour there. And let me just tell you this, like, I had fun doing the rotations of something like I was playing an enhancement shaman, and the rotation as enhancement was fun, right? I was like, this is fun. But I found myself literally sitting at a fucking dummy in Orgrimmar instead of playing the game. That's what I was doing. I was sitting there for an hour just trying my rotation. Because Classic WoW, you gotta admit, like a lot of the classes, that the rotations are not that.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. So I had a little fun doing that, but then as I was going to do the quests and shit like that, I'm just like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? There's no point. It literally feels like a game, and as you're trying to go along this linear path, it's like, hey, come here, try LFR. Hey, come over here, do these dailies, do this, and it's like someone with ADHD created the game. It's like you're trying to go down this linear path, and all these things just jump out at you.
It's sensory overload, yeah, dude.
That's exactly.
And
I was just like,
yep.
And I said, fuck it, and I just bought a sub and I stopped playing. So that was my little thing to admit. I was playing retail for like, I probably spent like 5 hours total.
Is that worse? Is that worse than pet battles, guys? What do you think? No.
Oh man,
no.
Very good question. Chat aside, 1 for pet battles, 2 for BFA, whatever.
Yeah, we're playing BFA for 5 hours.
I got to admit though, I hope basically that Classic would be a bit more challenging, and we know it isn't. Maybe AQ will be, but I think many players kind of want to try BFA sometime and see if it is more challenging. That is basically more challenging if you raid. So that's something I miss in Classic, and I can see why people would move to BFA to experience that challenge.
So see, here's the thing. It's challenging in a different way though, dude. Because like this argument, I'm sorry. I just want this argument that like retail is harder than Classic never really stuck with me, because Classic is a totally different challenge in a way, right? Because it's about you know, going through this long like leveling experience, getting gold, getting all these things differently. Whereas retail is a challenge in a different way. It's like it's a challenge of, you know, and a lot of the mechanics feel so recycled in retail. I've never
I'm
very
100% talking raids though. The leveling obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
So in raids.
Yeah, in raids I can definitely see that. I mean, like I said, it's a challenge in a different way a lot of times, because a lot of the people, if they're raiding at a, so the only kind of thing I can say is like, you know, to bring a in the middle is like, okay, if you're looking at mythic raiding, the only comparison in Classic is like really fast timed, like you know, timed runs. So like that right there is a lot of preparation as well. You need a whole bunch of gold to get all the consumables. You need a whole bunch of gold to get you know, all the different mats and everything that you need to do you know, a 15-minute, whatever, 20-minute fucking BWL that was done this week.
Yeah.
Whereas in, you know, Mythic Raiding, it's like learning the mechanics, doing this, and as time goes on in Classic WoW, we're going to kind of meet in the middle with where we are, right? So it's going to be less gold and more mechanic stuff. So it's going to come and meet in the middle, and I think TBC is a nice bridge of that, personally.
Less gold, probably more gold, but the last few weeks we were trying to beat Embers down, world boss, and that's an actual challenge for us. And I must say I really enjoyed doing that, and we still didn't down him because another guild did it twice. But I really enjoyed it, and I genuinely hope that AQ will be something like that or harder, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing you have to keep in mind is still the itemization. I mean, I've made a video about this, and there's just like multi-core. Multi-core was clear in no time at all. Same with Black and Lair, and sure, it's because of, you know, the strats and all that. And people just there's so much more information about there, how to min max and what buffs to get, and exactly that.
Talents,
but also the items are just and talents too. But it's just that's one of the things I really didn't like about Blizzard, where they just I'm just gonna call it as it is. I think they were flat out lazy not doing the progressive itemization. So many items were so much more terrible back then, which would have added a lot of extra difficulty because your raid would have been doing a lot less DPS. So
absolutely, dude.
I hate that they didn't do that. It sucks. And also the talents and stuff like that. Like,
I
don't know why they keep saying like, it's too complicated, or we don't have the resources.
Dude, private servers have that information. All you got to do is be like, knock. Hey, you know, hey guys, Nostalgious, you guys that offered to help us so many fucking times.
Yeah, exactly.
We're finally going to take your help. Like, that's all you have to do, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I wish it was like that. Yeah,
sorry?
I 100% agree with you. And also, I think if there would be a private server when there's a downtime, who's actually doing all those things, all the old talents and all the itemization, all that stuff, I think that would be a successful thing, and I might even try it out.
Oh my god, I
yeah,
would love
absolutely.
to do that, dude.
Yeah.
So, and that being said, right? So like, I think that would have really been a really nice. And Dunedain and I have been really big supporters of this from way back in the day. To like start from 1.1 talent, start from 1.1 itemization.
Yeah, I would have loved to see it.
It would have made things just a little bit more difficult, right? And when people say, you know, like I played on private servers and I had a better time and I had better, like I did too. Like I legit had so much more fun, like going through the changes of the gear when I was playing on private servers. You know, oh my god, this thing's really good right now, and in a couple of weeks it's gonna suck. So like you know, but it made the game feel more alive. It made the game didn't feel static.
Here's my thing. I really do think I might be alone in this, or at least the minority. Whenever I hear people talking about WoW, any iteration of WoW, it could be Classic, DVC, Wrath, Panda Land. When they're talking about balance, they're talking about rotations, they're talking about difficulty. They're always really talking about rating, man. It always feels like that's what people are talking about, and it seems like maybe that's the majority of what people enjoy about the game. They love rating, they love doing the rotations, and doing all that. But for me personally, like I was okay with the way Blizzard did the itemization, just because it would be confusing. I feel like for some people who, one day they wake up and their items look different, or something like that. But the main realization that I've had recently, at least personally, is that you don't need to look at the game from the perspective of rating, like defining the expansion or defining the iteration of the game. And the leveling process is a totally fine part of the content, totally fine. And I mean, that's the only point I'm trying to make. Like, I don't know why that is, but I feel like the majority of people like to make the raid. That's like that's their favorite thing or something. But there are also people within that group of people that feel like if they're not enjoying the rating, then the game isn't for them. The game is boring. The game sucks. Like, I do feel like the kind of end game here is to create your own fun. And honestly, the saving grace for Classic WoW right now is like Twitch and YouTube and streaming. And like people complain about not having a social aspect of Classic WoW. That may be kind of true in a lot of servers, but I just like what we have going on here, man. And like with the hardcore challenge, like I feel so good. Like being able to pop into each other's streams, little tiny streamers, 1-2 people watching, talking to them, going back and forth. I'm kind of off on a tangent here, bro, but I like what we have going right here. It feels like this is the right way to play. Like it
feels
feel
way
good,
more like Classic. It does.
True. I like what you say, Kargoz, but I think raiding is like 10% of the game, probably less even. But it's the thing you work towards, right? And if then the raids are really easy and a cakewalk, then you work towards nothing, and that feels bad, So everything else might be good, but if the end thing is a bit too easy or a bit crappy right now, let's be honest, then that's not good.
And I think the min-maxing mentality has a lot to do with that, though, Dunedain, right? Because the thing is, and I was talking to someone on Bloodsail Buccaneers. So Bloodsail Buccaneers is a RP realm, right? And I can just tell you right now that just logging on there, even if you're not doing hardcore, I was having a better time. The first time, and this could be because I was streaming, obviously, but the first time I ran into Orgrimmar, dude, someone came out of Orgrimmar and did this whole RP with me for the first time of me going inside of Orgrimmar. He was like, "Welcome, young one. Walk into the doors," and you know what I mean, like all this.
Oh, that's pretty.
And it was so fucking cool. And the other part of it is, a lot of these guilds, they don't min max. They play characters they want to play.
Yeah.
And like they'll bring Boomkins, they'll bring fucking Shadow Priests, they'll bring whatever works, and their main objective is to clear the raid together, not in a certain amount of time, not whatever. I think a really sad part of it is what it comes down to is this min-max mentality that has gone into Classic WoW, and then everything has to be done, oh my god, you're not an orc warrior, well, we're not giving you this fucking axe, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, sorry, Ham, do you want to say something? No, I have a lot to say on this part, actually, because the min-maxing, I'm totally against it, as you know, but you can't really stop it. And I have to admit something. I have been boosting my hunter alt through Melderon. Yes. I thought I would never.
Kargoz with the pets.
Yo, I'm the same way. Dunedain. I am. There's something wrong with my brain that I'll short circuit if I'm doing something too inefficient or whatever. That like so I have to like seriously resist the urge to boost. And like honestly, I would even Like, I would probably boost right now. Like I don't know. It's just Blizzard sets that meta, man.
Hardcore boosting, guys. Here we go.
That's a problem, though. It's so much faster that you feel like you're wasting your time from 40 to 50 if you're not doing it, and that's a giant issue.
Yeah.
And in raids, it's basically the same thing. We still bring boomkins or ferals or whatever class, retribution, prot paladins even. But even then, it's super easy, and even then, people are still min-maxing the shit out of it, and you can't stop it. I find myself going for world buffs as well, because I don't want to be last on the healing meters. I mean, you do those things, and it's kind of nice to be on top of the DPS meter, and if you want to do that, you have to min-max it. So, as long as the option is there, I mean, you can't blame people for doing it. You can blame Blizzard. You can blame Blizzard for putting it in there.
And the more people do it, the more it forces other people to do it. But the thing was, I was starting to say, on Bloodcell Buccaneers, there's still min-maxing going on, but it feels like there's a lot less of it than there are in other servers.
Yeah.
And I think what you were saying, Kargoz, a lot of it has to do with the community and like where they're at, right? So
I think RPers care less about the destination, meaning raiding with world buffs and getting that boss down, and they care a lot more about the actual journey, which is actually a really good way to approach WoW, because then you actually take some time to look around and maybe help someone out. I mean, if you're a super sweaty neckbeard Megamaxer and someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, can you like help me with this quest real quick? It only takes 15 minutes." You're like, "Fuck that! I got to level. I got to do this, that, and that," and then you might miss out on a really cool experience. And I generally feel like I'm not an experienced RP player. I feel like those people care a lot more about having a good time and focusing on the journey rather than the destination, and in the end they'll have a better time, because min-maxing is really cool. It's that natural level of competitiveness that most WoW players have, like with the parsing and seeing like, oh, where am I at in the list and everything like that. I get that, but I don't know, man, like doing things so fast kind of takes away some of the fun, I guess.
Here's my thing. Dunedain, you're spot on. So Dunedain, you're spot on right now. You can't stop the min-maxing. It's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. Like, the meta is what it is. Blizzard sets the meta. Humans are going to take the path of least resistance to get from point A to point B. I get it. That's why I do think the true end game with Classic WoW is to treat it like a sandbox. People always say it's a theme park MMO. I don't even really fully understand the difference, to be honest. But, like what Kungan's doing with the vanilla green thing, like, that's one aspect of it. But I genuinely, Classic community, feel in my heart of hearts that hardcore is an amazing, possibly the best way to experience Classic, in the sense that even for you guys as raiders, right? Hamster, you're a seasoned raider. You guys are all big brain fucking raiders. Even for you guys, this is, you love killing the dragon, slaying the computer, right? Like, that's pretty fun, going up against the environment and killing it. Hardcore is in that vein. You're killing stuff out in the world, right? But you have one life. And I see these seasoned raiders, we'll get into this later, but I saw Alex streaming it yesterday for the first time, and someone who almost is like brain dead bored with the game because he's like done it so many times, and he's just like, oh my god, this game is just not fun at all. People just shitting on Classic. It is not fun at all the raids are dog shit easy, go to private servers, all this. But if you were to actually honestly give hardcore a shot, it is genuinely tough to get to 60, man, without dying, and to treat it with one life. You're going out in the open world, and even I'm curious your thoughts on it, Hamster. Like, if you think you would enjoy it, or if like you think you could do it, if it would be easy. It just puts the soul back in the game, man. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Hardcore rating? Hardcore rating.
The thing with me is I'm a guy that really thinks ahead, like really far. So if I'm like starting my level 1 character hardcore, I'm already thinking like, okay, where am I going to end with this character? So and then I start thinking about, well, I'm leveling in a 1x raid, and it's gonna take ages because I'm also doing a hardcore mode. Like, it's gonna take ages for me to get rating. Like, even when I'm level 1, I'm already thinking about that. So I'm not sure if I can really do it, nor do I don't know. To be honest with you guys, I don't want to throw more money at Blizzard. I don't think they deserve my $15 a month. If you guys want to pay them $50 a month to play Classic, perfectly fine. I'm just saying I don't really want to do it anymore.
I got you.
And again, with me, I kind of ruined my. I wouldn't say ruined it, but I kind of spoiled a little bit what we said previously, where I play private servers a lot and I leveled a ton of alts. That I'm not sure if I can level a character again on, let's say, a 1x raid server or just Classic, and I'll genuinely enjoy myself. I don't know. I might give it a go.
You know what the secret is, though, Hamster? You know why you might?
Sorry, what?
You know why you might give it a shot? Because this is a very important piece of the hardcore, is the streaming aspect of it, man. Like, so if you were sitting by yourself in a room, me personally, if I wasn't streaming, it would be kind of weird for me to do the hardcore challenge by myself, because you're kind of just in your own imagination. People crave that social aspect of it, right? Like, that's such a big part of this, right? The fact that you're able to share these moments and go on that sort of other people watching you, Hamster. Imagine like there's 100 people watching you go through this character's journey, and you're building out the character together. I do feel like that changes the game a little bit. Like, it almost aligns the incentive a little bit. Like, you know, because I'm kind of the same way, bro. Like, am I gonna sit there and level 1x by myself and pretend like I have one life just for myself? You need like a community in the social aspect. You need the clout. You need the competitive spirit. You need a monthly tournament or something. You need some way to like make it so you're not just playing imagination in your own head, playing La La Land. Like, I don't know.
So
very true. I don't think I can get over the fact that when you die, you have to delete your character. Let's say I get to level 30. To me, getting level 30 in Classic, to some people, it's like nothing. It's like, oh, it takes no time at all. For me, getting level 30 in Classic, I think it takes a lot of time. But that's just based on how many hours you have to spend leveling, and you compare that to how many hours a day you can play WoW. I think it takes a lot of time to get to level 30. But that's just me. So if I get to level 30, let's say, which you know, I'm far from level 60, and I die, I gotta delete a ton of time. I don't think I can do that. That's the whole problem. I don't think I can commit to that.
It's gonna put that fear back in your belly when you go out into the world. It's gonna buff your world.
It makes you care about your character that much more, though.
Right now, who gives a shit about the world? You can see it. In order for you to feel stimulated, you need to kill 5,000 mobs at the same time in Maraudon. You need to literally pull the entire dungeon for you to get titillated by the combat. You actually need to pull the entire dungeon, or you need to kill 7 million Scarlet Crusaders, you know, at once in order to feel titillated. Play with one life. It's gonna put that fear back in your belly, man.
So. I got a train of thought, and if you guys can carry with me here. So,
okay,
right, something that is so great about hardcore, right, and that was so much of us love it, is because, you know, there's still min-maxing that occurs like in hardcore, right? Because, you know, okay, I want to do the best professions, I want to try to get the best survivability I can, but it's min-maxing in a different way. It's like it's your thought process of how you can, you know, survive best, of what you can do, and you're learning, right, the whole way, and who knows, over time, min-max, because like. Min-maxing comes out of people doing the same thing over so long ago, but you still have min-maxing in retail, you still have it, so that whole mentality side, just put that away for a second, right? The whole min-maxing. What does hardcore do? Hardcore, you put some kind of limitations on you so that you have a different experience in the game, right? So is there a way that we could do that in raiding or in other aspects of the game so that we can enjoy it more, and so the min-maxing part of it won't be as strong?
That's
right?
what Kung is doing. That's what Kung is doing with that Vanilla Green project.
Right,
with
yeah. But here's the thing: are they still allowing world buffs there?
I don't even know. I don't know.
Because what world buffs does, and here's the thing, like with the min-maxing, like world buffs, and I think Melderon was like really on point when he said this so long ago, is that, you know, there was a group of people who killed Onyxia that not that long ago naked, right? But they did it with world buffs. World buffs in Classic WoW are extremely powerful, especially when you stack them upon each other. So when you have all Dire Maul buffs, when you have ZG, when you have, you know, Rallying Cry, the Dragon Slayer, all these buffs together, it doesn't matter if you have no gear on, because world buffs are so much powerful. So one of the things that this created, and I think this was one of the biggest things that one of the biggest issues we have with WoW right now, with Classic WoW. Yes, people did this back on private servers, but it was different, right? It wasn't, people were getting world buffs, but world buffs have become the standard. It's like everyone gets world buffs, and it has made the content that much more easier to do, right?
Trivial.
So that much more trivial. So like, you know, what they could have done is like maybe not allow world buffs to be stacked, whatever, blah blah blah. But I think this is one of the biggest issues that we have with raiding. You can put limitations, you can put no gear on, you can do this, but if you're getting world buffs, it doesn't fucking matter. But the problem is, if one person gets world buffs in your raid, it puts, like Dunedain was saying, it puts pressure on everyone else in the raid
to want to
get world buffs.
Get it. Yeah.
Right.
But I think maybe people should shift mentality. Is it that fun to kill the robot over and over again every week? Like I saw Alex streaming yesterday, he was just asking people, he's like, for those of you who are actively raiding, are you having fun right now? Like, do you wake up giddy and want to jump on the computer and play? Do you love getting world buffs and raiding, or even without the world buffs? Like, maybe some people do. They love raiding, they love getting the gear. But I don't know if that's just like a conditioning that you feel like you need to get the gear. Because people always talk about Classic WoW, it's the journey, not the destination, right? Live that, dude. Like, if if you say that, like, go put your money where your mouth is. The journey, not the destination. You know, go do the journey. I don't know. I'm in my own like lane with this leveling stuff. But let me tell you one thing right now. So we're doing this Good Morning Azeroth right now, and it may seem to some of you who are newer viewers like, oh, these guys are still hype about Classic, and there might be this big disparity between how you're feeling about Classic and how it appears that we're feeling. Like, I'm very high energy right now. If I was raiding week to week, having to get world buffs, showing up just to get an item with the exact same tooltip as my last item, with like 4 more spell power on it, and I do that every week, and we're just sitting there, like, it just doesn't the carrot on a stick is just not there for me, right? It's not strong enough. So what I'm suggesting is just try to think about the game in a different way, maybe. Like, try to create your own challenge, do something like that, create your own community, do something like that, because
and hardcore does that. It does shift the mentality. It shifts, like, French Toast was saying about this. He said you can't tell people to shift the mentality, but like hardcore does do that in a way. It shifts the mentality into something else, and I was wondering, is that possible to do in other aspects of the game? Like,
I like how you guys invented hardcore, basically Kargoz, and went for it. I really like how you try to make the game the journey as it used to be. But wouldn't it be extremely nice if we didn't have to do it in that way, and if it was just basically the way you had to play the game in the most efficient way? You know what I mean? If you couldn't boost characters, if you couldn't get the hardcore, the world buffs, if the gear wasn't as overpowered and all that crap, I mean, if min-maxing was actually a good thing to do in the game to make it possible to kill raid encounters, wouldn't that be what we want, basically, from WoW? I think Blizzard should really rethink the whole thing for TBC. Otherwise, people will drop out.
Agreed.
It's fine because it's the first time we go through this whole classic thing, and people are excited for AQ and Nax, and there's always the idea that Nax will be hard, or AQ will be hard, and if AQ isn't, then Nax will probably be hard, and all that stuff. But they will not go through this whole cycle again for TBC if it's the same cake walking the park.
It's a really good point. I don't know. You know Big Musk, right? Yeah, Hamster. You've been on his podcast before. He's a cool guy. Sometimes he goes a little off the handle. You don't have to agree with everybody. I watch his stuff, and it's cool to get different opinions and stuff. But one thing he said is he was just saying, he's really shilling for Netherwing or the Karazhan server big time. He's just saying, like, this is going to be the last time we can play TBC the way it was intended. And one of his points was that classic TBC will be the same as vanilla, same as classic, like, vanilla right now. Like, if you think it's going to be any different, it's not. I could not agree more. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to play classic TBC. I'm still going to have a blast playing classic TBC, no matter how it shakes out. I'm going to be chilling with my boys, Defcamp, Melderon. I'll be streaming with you guys, doing whatever. We'll make it fun. But it is going to be the same. The mentality is not going to change.
You're absolutely right.
The mentality,
I don't want to believe that.
This is what's going to happen, man. You're going to be so hyped. You're going to be watching the Illidan trailer. You're going to be with your friends. You're calling up your old boys going to play again. You're going to be logging in. It's going to be a shit show queue, or whatever. Like, let's launch. It's normal, like Dark Portal. But you're going to log in, and you're going to look to your left. You're going to look to your right. You're going to see people with just ridiculous amounts of gold. Nothing like it was back when vanilla moving into TBC. Like, basically infinity gold. They're going to race to 70. They're going to get 70 in probably a day. Someone's going to crack the code and figure it out. They're going to just find a way to spam their way up to 70 or do something. Everybody's going to be 70. They're going to have flying mounts instantly. You're going to have this exact same meta slave, sweaty raid log meta. So, I mean, you could enjoy that right now, but just know that is what's coming. And I just want to throw that out there as a PSA that you may have an expectation that it's going to be very different.
I agree, but there are things about the Burning Crusade that is going to make it a little bit better. Right? No world buffs.
Yes.
True. World buffs. True. There's going to be a gold cap, Kargoz.
The dungeons are harder too. Yeah, they're just harder. Like the dungeons and heroics. Like some of the most fun.
But I agree to a certain extent because, like, we have seen that values on private servers are definitely higher and harder. Like, shit is harder on private servers than it has been in classic. And I'm wondering, and it's probably going to be exactly the same come TBC. But the thing is, I do think that not having world buffs, as long as they impose some kind of gold cap, maybe no more than like 2,000 gold per character, or like 10,000 gold per count, right? Something like that. Here's the thing though, like TVC for me is a lot different than classic in a lot of ways, and I think there definitely has been a lot of min-maxing done for TBC. But I definitely do feel like there is a little bit more of a unknown factor in TBC when it comes to certain things. Like, you have arena, right? You have a lot of people who know what the best arena comps is. Like, there's going to be a lot of fucking rogues. There's going to be a lot of, priests. There's going to be a lot of, like, Romig, Shibitu, priest. There's going to be a lot of druid warrior. It's going to be a ton of that. But there are people that are going to bring a little bit of an unknown factor and a little bit. Sure. I think it's going to be a little bit less min-maxy than classic. It's still going to be min-maxy as hell. Mm-hmm. There's still going to be a lot of craziness to it. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe this is my own hopes and wishes coming in my brain because I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that it's going to be the same exact thing.
The game changer that throws like an apple into the bag of oranges is that there's arena. So that's a whole other bucket for people who just want to still kind of just be kind of insular, play with their buddy, play some twos, and still go far and not have to like commit to raid logging or whatever. They can still experience the game at a high level, right, and play and become a big chat on their server, but they can do it through a different, a totally different type of way. So arena will be definitely a game changer.
It's a very, very, very good thing indeed. But Hamster, you made some videos on gear and stuff, and is the difference between like 1.1 gear and 1.12 gear in vanilla, is it the same as it was in TBC? Because I can't recall such big gear changes.
I'm very glad you asked because that was exactly on my mind. There was some changes, like in beginning Burning Crusade, 2.4.3 itemization has a rating, so you have increases crit rating, increases hit rating. Beginning Burning Crusade, you didn't have that. You still had the flat 1% or 2%. Exactly. You had that. However,
remember Nax gear, dude? Remember the fucking Nax gear too?
Oh my god!
God, it was so bad at first.
But basically yes, there is a difference in between compared to how powerful items were in 2.1 compared to 2.4.3. However, it is by far not as drastic as 1.1 compared to 1.12. I mean, they might have been buffed a little bit, but to give you an example, there are items in 1.1 vanilla that had like very little base stats and no spell damage that were eventually buffed to a lot of spell damage and a good amount of base stats. So their drastic changes did not happen in TBC. Yes, they were there, but not as drastic. So people can benefit from wearing crazy overpowered gears in quotation marks when they're stepping in the caravan because they're playing on a 2.4.3 core. Don't get me wrong though, it's still going to be much of a cakewalk because if we can see what Blizzard is doing with Classic right now, I'm 100% sure they're not going to, or I'm pretty sure, not 100% of course, I'm pretty sure they're going to release post-nerf heroic dungeons because pre-nerf heroic dungeons TBC were actually hard as dick, and 2.4.3 they're not as hard. I mean, heroic Arcatraz and stuff like that's still pretty hard, but generally speaking, they were a lot easier in late TBC. So
why do they do that? It doesn't make it. Why do they do that? It's just not good for the longevity of the game. I don't get it. I mean,
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, this brings up so many questions. Like, what if they? Okay, so I think one of the biggest drastic changes, Hamster, correct me if I'm wrong, was Nax gear, right? I mean, I'm sorry, not Nax. Kara gear. Kara gear was absolute dog shit when it first came out.
I think so. Yeah.
It was literally like blues with stat. It was like all blue gear with like because it's been a while for me, but I'm pretty sure it was like all blue gear with like base stats, and it was absolute dog shit. They totally revamped the gear from Kara, and it almost became in a way like a catch-up build because when you first did Kara back in the day, you had like the gear that was from it, you had your tier whatever, but like all the other gear was shit. When they revamped the gear, Kara almost became. That's why you had so many people going back to do Kara. Halfway through TBC because they revamped the gear. It almost became like a ZG in a way because the gear was revamped and it was better. Now that being said, they're probably going to come up. Blizzard's probably going to come out with like they did with the itemization of the final version, the 2.43 itemization of everything. If they didn't do that though, if they did the original itemization, from Kara or they did this like Dunedain was saying, they had the original heroic damage and stuff like that, it would make for so much of more of an interesting game. Like,
yes, absolutely, because what you have to keep in mind is that the min-maxing, most of it, like people are already like theory crafting and min-maxing when it comes to TBC. Most of that, what you can do right now, is based on private servers with a 2.4.3 core.
Right.
So if Blizzard all of a sudden says or publishes like, hey, we're not going to do that, we're actually going to start with 2.1 and we're going to have our own damage values that you guys might even know about because what you're doing is calculating it based on 2.4.3. Exactly. If they did that, that would be so damn cool.
It would be huge. They have the information too.
Yes.
They have it.
Would that make you play classic TBC? Hamster?
Maybe.
It would be a different experience from every other private server.
This man, Hamsterweel, knows more about TBC.
It's exactly what we've been saying before Classic, That's exactly what you said before.
Yes, exactly.
If they went with the patch progressions, like in a meta that's evolving and people don't know they do know what's going to happen, but it's not been maxed and it's not theory crafted. Like,
would you want that too
for years?
That sounds good to you.
Sorry?
You would be down with that too?
Obviously.
Okay, so I mean, this is really interesting to me. So, like, I don't consider myself like a fucking raider at heart, but you guys seem like you're raiders at heart. You love this, and this is something you're passionate about. You understand the game better than 90% of the people that are going to play TBC. So, I'm curious what people in the chat think as well. If you could turn that decision that Blizzard would have to make into a question, how would you phrase it? You know, progressive itemization versus.
He just said it, dude. He said they have the info. What they don't have is any idea how to make games. Like,
yeah,
I don't think they would do it because, like, this is so smart. It would differentiate them from every other fucking private server. It would make people who are playing private servers and say, oh, private servers are better, go to play TBC. You can create an active, living fucking game starting from 2.1 values. Right. Starting from 2.1 gear.
This is going over my head right now, though.
And they should probably move on from the no changes shit and just actively monitor it. And if something is broken, they should fix it. Absolutely. And that's, I think, what they should have done with Classic as well.
So correct me if I'm wrong, we're still talking just progressive itemization versus items being in their final form. This is
but also if something is broken, let me give an example. If, like, Fury Warriors in Classic, it's definitely broken, and people didn't know that back in the day, but they do it now. So nerf it. I mean, it changes, I guess, but it would make it a lot more interesting.
It would.
What worries me? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, what worries me is basically this thing. Like, yes, Blizzard has the information, but it would cost more time for them to make, which means more resources, which means more money. And because they're I don't know all this, but because they're Activision Blizzard is going to have to talk to Activision like, hey, we want to maybe do this, but it's going to cost X amount of money. And then Activision is going to go like, no, we want a good ROI and we want a good profit margin. So no, you're not going to do that. So I think that might, I really hope they do, but considering how it will cost more time, more resource, and more money, I don't see it happening. But we'll see.
That is the biggest reason why it wouldn't happen, Hamster, 100%. Because, like, what they did with Classic, and it's really sad, is, like, there's some dude somewhere named fucking George. And he's the only fucking person who works on Classic right now. Like, they have probably, like, the guy who was in Elias's fucking chat who banned that dude, he was probably the only fucking GM for Classic WoW. I feel like ever since after the game released and they were like, okay, we're gonna let things go, whatever, like, they just put one fucking guy on the job. There's probably a couple more, right? But, like, they have such a small staff. This is why they want people to get authenticators, right? This is why they give that extra backslots for authentication. This is why they want people to they want all automated. This is why there's bots all over the place, and it took months for them to do anything about the bots.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the redheaded stepchild of Blizzard. Yeah, Classic WoW. Like,
this is why. So here's the thing, like, they know that people will still play Classic. They'll bitch and complain, and I think part of it is almost tongue in cheek because I feel like you guys wanted Classic. Well, here it is with all its fucking flaws and everything. You're gonna have to fucking deal with it. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of people think, and because you have really passionate people making these private servers and making them fun and making them great, and that's why a lot more people still have fun playing private servers over Classic WoW till today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so it would take a team of people, Hamster. You're absolutely right, to make BC what it could be. But I think it's worth it. I think they should do it.
Yes,
they should.
Yeah. I hope someone can convince them. I'm sorry, go ahead, Dunedain.
Sorry, I just said get rid of no changes, but then you said the 4 backslots, and even though it's a small change, it's exactly the change we didn't need.
Exactly.
It's a small thing, but I really, really, really dislike that. If you make a new character first time, you have no gold and you're 16 bags, and now you suddenly have 20. That's a huge difference. I hate it, but whatever. That's something you probably discussed last time.
No, I told Melderon yesterday that he has to delete his authentication for our duo hardcore because it's not fair. It's not fair that he has 4 more fucking bag slots and I don't. Bullshit.
That is kind of crazy, man. I still didn't really fucking know that, bro. You get 4 more bag slots for that?
Yeah, that's like almost a small brown pouch.
What a random shit.
It is, though.
That just like
the thing you get in Westfall from the first quest, the 4 back slot thing. That's basically thing, that. And that's, for some people, it's the first back you get in the game if you start with a human.
Seems like an unnecessary change for no reason, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
What I want to say right now, and that probably isn't, but if there is any fucking dev or anyone from Blizzard watching this, we're not saying this because we are, we're saying this because we love this game. We want to challenge you guys to create something that not only we love, but something that you guys would be proud of, right? I doubt that the person working on Classic WoW is happy with what's going on right now. You know, I'm sure that he wishes that he could fucking, you know, do, you know, what he wants to do and have the power and do the things he want to do. And, you know, it's not as, like, we know before that we've had devs watching our show, right? Like, it's happened. It was mostly before the game came out, right?
Yeah.
You know, we know that there were people watching, and, you know, when they have...
Might be one of you out here watching right now. You're getting...
Yeah, but, like, here's the thing. Like, we want the game to succeed. We want you guys to fucking be proud of your game. Like, we're not trying to just bash you. Like, we literally fucking love this game so much, and we want to give criticism in a way that's constructive and not just shit on it and whatever. Like, we care about this game. We love it. We think that Blizzard has the tools and has the capability to do this. Just put a little bit more work and effort into it. And I know the powers that be, Activision, all that, probably wouldn't fucking, you know, allow for this, but it's worth a shot. I don't know. That's any plea to anybody who's fucking watching. Like, you know,
I guess you got to convince Activision to put in more resources in the Classic, but then they're like,
so let's boil it down to hard hitting points, though, guys. Like just boil it down to what you would want to see in TBC. Like, so you give some really good feedback on the rating, for example, on the leveling side, because a lot of what you're saying is cool to me, but I'm not really like a rater. It just doesn't really. They could go either way with it, and I really wouldn't really give a shit. Like, you know, but that's because, you know, and same thing with leveling. You guys wouldn't give a shit about some of the leveling stuff. On the leveling front, what I would say is my bullet points is. Make it so that mobs don't evade out and reset in dungeons and stuff. You know how like a lot of the scuffed aspects of these pulls and boosts are that they kind of step on a ledge and the whole like fucking instance breaks and they run all the way around. Like, get rid of that, right? Like, we can probably all agree that that's kind of stupid. Like, have them just reset. And then 2 would be the monitor the XP per hour in the dungeons. So this time going into TBC, look at the XP per hour in dungeons and make sure that instance dungeons aren't going to ruin the incentive to go out into the open world. That'd be the second thing. Those are my bullet points right off the top of the head. I don't know. Like, so what would you guys want to see in with rating if you had to just boil it down to like a couple things in TBC?
I think. You guys go ahead, dude.
Yeah, what you said nails it pretty much. I would, if the difference from gear is big enough, I would probably buff everything, not just worlds. I mean, not just raids and dungeons, but probably every single mob in the game, like slightly to compensate for that. But I don't know how big the difference in gear is. I think they should have done that in Classic. If they didn't want to go with alt itemization, then buff everything, but not just bosses, like literally everything. And
okay, would you want that if, let's say, they did do progressive itemization? Would you still want the buff, or?
No, I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. I can't really tell without trying.
Yeah. This is why we need PTRs and practicing and stuff like that. To, you know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I fully agree with what Kargoz said. So
I'm on the same page as you guys. I really think that we need to, you know, and I would love to see like, the same thing with, like, you know, if we could see with the pre-nerf value, because I definitely think, obviously, like, Kale Foss was like he was literally unkillable back before pre-nerf, if I remember correctly, Hamster, right? Like it wasn't like an issue of gearing, it was an issue of mechanics.
Could be.
What I remember.
I'm not sure anymore.
I know it's been a long time, man. Like I rated a lot back in the Burning Crusade. It was like when I really started like rating hardcore.
I just had a light bulb moment real quick before I forget. I'm a goldfish. I have about 3 seconds before like the RAM clears in my mind. I think it'd be even kind of a hype marketing thing. Like, let me know if I'm going too far, chat. Like, let me know. Really try to think about it though before you re-out in the chat. All right, so it might be a cool marketing move if even Blizzard says like, yeah, you remember the TBC you love? Well, it's fucking buffed now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You want to get some? Like, you remember Illidan? He's twice as hard right now. Like, you know, like that kind of blanket, you know, buff. For some reason, it doesn't. I don't know if is it true. Who's getting triggered by that? Anybody in the chat getting triggered by like everything is harder, so it's fair for everybody. Like, all the mobs are just harder. Like, imagine killing one mob is actually kind of hard. It takes like a minute, or not a minute, maybe like 30 seconds.
Right? I mean, that would be acceptable
if it's reasonable. Yeah, if it's only like the 0.0001% that can kill it, then no. But if it's like reasonable for a good amount of people and not too many, then sure.
I don't think that would be necessary though if we went back and did the old values, right? If we did the old values, if we did the old gearing, if we did the old talents, I don't even think that would be necessary. I think the only reason that would be necessary, Kargoz, if they did a 2.4.3 value, what they did in Classic, and then double buff the boss. But I'd rather experience it in that older state. You know, like even bring back a lot of the pre-nerf stuff, like when it was harder, and because people obviously are better players than back then. But like, here's the thing, like, you know, a lot of people don't realize this. You know, Classic WoW was out for a long fucking time until TBC came out. You know, people sucked in Classic, but by the time BC came out, people got pretty fucking good at the game. Right?
Yeah.
People were using tons of add-ons. People were using a ton of macros with keybinds. People weren't keyboard turning. You know, people knew what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah, you got Arena too. Yeah.
Exactly. We had Arena. Yeah, you really learned how to play your character and the full tool set of it. So, you know, with that being said, that we're going to be a little bit closer, I think, to where we were on TBC to where we are now than there was in Classic, right? But all that being said, I still think there's a lot of room for, you know, these min-maxing people for all this, that, and the other. And I think people, as long as the boss wasn't bugged in its pre-nerf state, it wasn't unkillable, you know, let us at least try it with the 2.1 values, with the original gearing. And I think that right there would just make things, like, imagine people killing, you know, pre-nerf bosses that only like 1% of people killed, or like, you know, no one killed back in the day. You know, like the feeling it was with like 5 pre-Sakar. But imagine that, you know, with the 2.1 values, with the original gearing and stuff like that. I think it would be amazing. It would revitalize the game. It would make it feel so much more alive. Like Hamster said, though, the whole thing about this is it would take time and money.
Yo, there's a really good comment in the chat right now by Chicken Basket. What up, Keith? Good to see you. You'll kill off more casual player base, but attract more of the hardcore players. Classic TBC would be mostly sweaty players, but min-max mentality would probably be worse. Just take a second to think about that, though. Think about that.
I don't agree with that. But I think casual players are attracted to content that they can possibly not clear. Because it's like a legendary goal they have in mind and they will probably never get, but it's still something that attracts players. And min-maxing, and I'm not against min-maxing. I kind of like min-maxing, but it has to make sense, you know? If you min-max a game that's already super easy, then it's a bit stupid. But if it's necessary to beat the content, then it's kind of nice to have min-maxing. So min-maxing itself is not a bad thing. It's just
exactly. And here's the thing, guys. Like, min-maxing is going to be so much worse if we have the 2.43 values, because everyone's been playing that on private servers.
Yeah,
everyone's been doing that.
Also,
if we have the original values, Kargoz, from 2.1 in the original gear, it's been so long since anyone's experienced that, right? It's been so fucking long. So all this stuff is going to have to evolve
before my RAM clears in my mind again. So, like, min-maxing feels really bad when it's almost pointless to min-max, right? Like, when people are min-maxing and the content's brain dead easy, then people are like, what are you doing, you sweaty fucking gremlin? Like, but if everything was buffed to the point where, you know, throwing stuff into spreadsheets and passing it around, like, kind of didn't seem as cringe to some people. They'd be like,
more of a
necessity,
like,
the boss
that's
isn't
actually
falling
cool.
down.
Then
like,
it's that genius found something. That's nice, man.
Yeah, right.
And here's the thing too. So when I think to myself, who is going to get upset by TBC being buffed? And I think to myself, I think that a lot of people might be out there saying, I'm just scared of Blizzard touching the game because it's Activision in 2020 and like you just never know what could happen. This is my vision for it, right? There's a slider, just like graphics. You know, you slide it up to terrain ultra. You know, I've been doing a lot of that recently, so I know about those sliders. Or, you know, terrain all the way down to low, so there's no foliage. Like, they would just slide it up a little bit, you know, just slide it up.
I don't like that. I'm sorry.
The difficulty. No, we wouldn't slide it. Blizzard would. Is all I'm saying. Like, it's.
I thought you meant we would choose like normal, heroic, mythic. Okay.
I'm saying it's so Blizzard wouldn't really be able to scuff it, right? Because it'd just be the exact same game, but they just move the slider up, like, how much? 20%, 30%, something like that. So then, you know, so Blizzard would just say, like, look, we didn't actually go in there and, you know, tweak it that much. You know, it's just a little bit buffed. I don't know.
What I'm saying, though, Kargoz, is I don't think we would necessarily need that at all if they would first let us try a lot of the stuff what it was pre-nerf, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, so pre-nerf with 2.1 values, with 2.1 gearing, I don't even think there would be a need to buff the guys.
Speaking of pre-nerf, do you think it's still possible we get pre-nerf Katoon?
No.
I heard Melderon say that.
Yeah, what if Melderon that said like the values kind of match the unkillable, quote unquote, unkillable numbers that Ian Hazakostas said way back then, but then again, way back then he didn't know about fucking sapper charges and shit like that.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing too, like pre-nerf Cthulhu, the tentacles spawned inside of his stomach, right? So like that right there makes it so much harder because like, you know, you have so much going on. So like, okay, we'll talk about Cthulhu now because I know we want to talk about AQ40. We've been practicing. Mike L's been practicing AQ40 on a PTR on a private server, and we've been actually like you know for me it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. But we've been doing it with full world buffs, right? So that's one thing. Little caveat. Yeah, sure. You know what I mean? And we're going to start practicing without world buffs next week. Like Twin Emps was much easier than I thought, but Cthulhu itself. Cthulhu, I think the hardest part is phase 1, like learning how to get it, how to walk in the room, how to get positioned. After the I-beam phase and when he comes up, I feel like the fight turns into less about mechanics and one person fucking up and more into DPS needing to go fucking apeshit to kill all the tentacles and claws and everything like that, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So if the claws and tentacles are spawning inside of his stomach, it makes it a little bit harder because you only have a certain amount of people who can go into his belly at once.
Yeah.
And are those people, if they can push the DPS to kill those claws, you know, before that a healer needs to come in there and top them off, whatever. But the problem is you don't want to push that too quick. If you push that phase too quick and he goes into his invulnerability while there's still eye stalks and claws up above, you know, on the main floor, then you won't be able to push him in that vulnerability phase. But I think it's doable. I think, you know, a lot of people would actually be able to do pre-nerf Cthulhu. I would love to see it if they did it like maybe for the first week, pre-nerf Cthulhu, like, you know, week 1, something like that. But the thing is, you know, the question is what Melderon was saying about the values and stuff like that. I think the health-wise and things like that are similar to where we were, what we're thinking was. But the problem is that if the mechanics are different, right? The mechanics are the main part that makes pre-nerf Cthulhu harder. So those mechanics, if those eye stalks are spawning in the stomach, that right there is what's going to make it a challenge. So, you know, if the values are similar to what we thought they were going to be, that's not going to be the biggest thing. The biggest thing is going to be that the mechanics are different in how they were for pre-nerf Cthulhu. So,
all right.
I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's something we should try? Like, I would love to try it at least.
Would be cool.
Yeah,
would be cool to try.
Yeah, I think it would be definitely really cool, and it would also kind of, you know, for Blizzard, it would be like, hey, you know, you guys are always complaining about, oh, it's too easy. Well, here is something that is deemed to be unkillable way back then. Go ahead, try it. So all the people that are complaining, like, oh, these damages were way too easy, blah blah. You can basically kind of shut them up and say, well, here you go. This is what you wanted. There you go. Try it out.
It would be kind of nice in a nostalgic way as well, since Cthulhu wasn't killed for so long. If this Cthulhu version wouldn't be killed for 2 weeks, that would still feel that. I mean, that would be a long time, right? That would be awesome indeed.
I don't think that, you know, I think that would be awesome. And, you know, if someone said, didn't Ian has calculated it was impossible to kill pre-nerf Cthulhu? I think if Ian, listen, I don't believe that. I think it's possible nowadays. I'm sorry if, you know, Ian, like whatever. It is definitely going to be possible nowadays for people to kill pre-nerf Cthulhu. You know, it was apparently impossible to do 5 priest Hakar. Look how fucking easy that was. You know what I mean? I don't know if anyone said it was impossible, but the issue with pre-nerf Cthulhu wasn't that there was a bug that or whatever, like Kel'Thas was, that was like unkillable. Yeah. The issue was that, you know, could you do enough damage? Could you do, you know, with people min-maxing the way they do nowadays, with people bringing in fucking, like you said, you know, Hamster, having, you know, a bunch of like fucking sappers and shit like that, I think it can definitely be done.
Yeah, I mean, Nefarious, what was that, like the fastest kill in Nefarious? Some warrior did like, what, 3.2k DPS or some crazy stuff like that?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Did anyone ever do 3.2k DPS in vanilla WoW? Never.
Dude, and the thing was, like, it was saying, like, I read something, it was like during this phase, people would have to do, like, 200 DPS or something. Like, it was something small that, like, only, if you had 20 DPS, whatever, each of them would only have to do 250 DPS for that, for a minute. Yeah. So, and like those values back then were like, oh my god, if every person had to do 250 DPS for that minute, like is it, like you can have fucking 5 people do that nowadays. Like, you know, five of those warriors or whatever. Like, absolutely. It's insane how different the amount of DPS that people can do nowadays to back then. That's, you know what I mean? Like that's I'm sorry. It would be absolutely possible for people to do. I forget exactly what the values I was looking at, but it was laughable, dude. It was
Wow.
fucking
Now I
awful.
want to see pre-nerf Cthulhu and a guild killing it with nothing but meme specs. Now I want to see
Yeah.
that. Would be amazing. Come
Meme
on. You
specs,
gotta do
no
that.
world buffs. No world
Yes.
buffs. Yeah.
Boomkins, red
Yeah.
pallies, just all that elemental shamans and shit like that.
Yeah,
Go
dude.
ahead, kill it. That I would love that if we were able to do that. Oh my god.
So like, and then it poses a question though. It's like, are we being selfish wanting this? Like, and I think it's because like, obviously it's classic WoW. There's one value. You know what I mean? There's one value. There's one. I'm sorry, one raid. There's no mythic heroic. You know, whatever. But
Yeah,
I think it would be so much cooler to have. You know, back in the day, what made classic so awesome is that only a small amount of people killed Cthulhu. Did kill KT in Nax.
Mhm.
It's okay. I don't think everyone should, do a first fucking day clear and this, that, and the other. I think it would be nice to have a challenge that, like, it would make the gear that Cthulhu, like the Scepter of the False Prophet, it's such an amazing
Oh my god, that
fucking
maze.
healing maze. And I want it so bad on my priest, but imagine having to, have such a challenge to get there, to get it. Like, I think that right there makes the game so much better. At least let us try pre-nerf Cthulhu if you have the information.
I think it's not selfish, man.
Okay.
I never killed Kitoon in the old days, and I loved WoW, and many people never killed them, and they all love WoW. I mean, so it's not selfish. It's just something unkillable, and it's nice.
Back in vanilla, we got 2 twin M's, but I didn't think we killed them. And anyway, we didn't get to Cthulhu at all, and we never tried it. So looking back at like videos from like Nihilum with like Kungan tanking and stuff like that, like it was super magical to see. Like it created this air of mystery. Like, oh my god, what is this? And then you see the eye, and then the eye vanishes. Like, oh, is this it? And then this giant tentacle monster comes out. It's like, what is this hentai shit?
So I noticed. Dude, the thing about Cthulhu is like there was no boss anything like it.
Yes,
before in
exactly.
Classic
Yeah.
WoW. Nothing even came close to it, dude. And that's one of the things that I love so much about it is it's a change in pace. It's basically saying, okay, guys, like things are now changing big time. Like things are going to become not like just fucking daisies and roses. Not you can't just like fucking whatever. Back then, at least, you know what I mean. Nowadays, it's a lot, not as much, but back then, Cthulhu was it's where the boys and girls, it's where the men and whatever the fucking saying. It's where the boys turn into men. Yeah. They separated the men and the boys. Exactly. So I'm really excited for it. Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna play hardcore forever, dude. I just love it, bro. I just feel so good, man. I feel revitalized. I feel like it dodges so many issues. I see a lot of people wanting to talk about certain issues in the game, different opinions on X, Y, or Z. I don't know if you feel it though. Like when you're just playing hardcore and chilling, you're leveling up, you're fighting the environment, you got your boys there, you have your guild. Like it's right as rain. It's just peak WoW for me, man. And I just love it.
I definitely think you could expand that to some degree to rating. Maybe like one death elite is a little extreme, but you could have a cost like Kungan or who was it? Yeah, Kungan was doing it. The Green Army, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can have something like that. Like make it hardcore too, where you can only have like no world buffs, no food buffs, no nothing, and just regular standard green gear or whatever, and just
you can only use the gear that you get in the raid. Like if it's a piece of gear drops, you can use it.
Yeah, sure.
But only for that raid or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have like as a shaman, you basically you can't use you can use the full Earth Fury though. That's pretty powerful. But let's say you're I don't know, a druid and you get the Cenarian belt and the bracers. You're like, well, that's like 6 damage and healing. That's pretty crap, but that's all you can use. So it adds a little bit extra difficulty. So I would definitely watch that. Oh yeah.
See, the Kargoz, the thing is for me, like I love fucking hardcore so much. You know what I mean? It's so awesome. I love but for me, it doesn't quell all the things that I have for WoW.
Love for WoW.
I need especially as a healer.
You need someone like you, Defcamp, or Hamster, who's passionate, because I'm passionate about leveling, right? So like my embodification of this type of challenge, which is honestly just so fun, I'm so passionate about, is like hardcore type of stuff, right? You guys would have an amazing vision on how to turn that into a reality, right? And create a similar type of thing that brings everyone together and all that for rating. I agree with you 100%.
Not a bad idea. Yeah,
you just gotta think of what that is and have it not be too obtrusive for people get into it. I don't know. That's
the problem is you have to get 40 people with exactly the same mindset, which is kind of hard.
That's the problem. You have to it's hard. It's kind of like it's a logistical nightmare because you have to make sure no one's cheating basically. So you have to inspect 40 people, and before you start, and make sure
that
no
takes the
one's
fun
popping,
out
like,
of it.
yeah, and I know some dude is probably gonna be tempted to kind of like, oh, no one's watching. Okay, let me pop a mana potion real quick. Like, no one's watching. You gotta monitor all that shit. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it might be tough. But then again, someone might look at that and go, you know what? There's a few hurdles we have to overcome. But I can maybe do this or that or such and such. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe we could like create a weak aura or an add-on that like tracks it all or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. You can see like consumables popping or something like that. It's definitely possible. I'd love to see that though, and I think some people, I definitely think that there are guilds out there that are right now are either semi-hardcore or hardcore that are just rolling through Black Malaria no problem. They're clearing it within an hour, and then you introduce this whole idea of like, hey, you want to actually have a challenge in Black Malaria? You want to do something different? Well, we have this kind of cool mode where you only can wear this gear, no consumables, no world buffs. So you
opens up a new meta for it. Yeah, it's nice to open up new metas, right? That's one thing. So people like to sink their teeth into like unexplored territory and figure out the problem. So any way you can create that effect, would be
and if you play hardcore, you can just do it with your ult. If you have like a level 54 shaman or something, you can be like, hey, I can use that character to do it. It's not my main, so I'm not losing out on any crazy sweaty neckbeard stuff I want to do with my main. But I can use an ult, and I can still have that fun challenge, and I'd like to see it.
I'd love to see it.
I think too. I think it's something that we could definitely work into. I wanted to just change if you guys have anything else, because I know this was in the the title and everything, and we really haven't talked too much about it. But recently, I have watched a video. A lot of people have watched a video about a new game, that was coming out 2 years from now, right? Called Ashes of Creation. Let me just say that I watched the video on stream. I think it looks like it could be absolutely amazing. I'm a little worried that they're kind of trying to do so much that they might not be able to deliver on it. However, I think the ideas that they have, I think the direction that they're going, the systems, the node systems, the crafting. I love the profession. I love the class system. How you kind of can make a cleric, and then at a certain level you can mix that cleric with a different. I love how the class works and all that. It looks amazing. I think it could be the next best MMO.
Do you?
However, we've got a long way to go. Well,
let's look at a few minutes of this, right? I have it up right now playing, right? So. Okay, so it seems like already right off the bat you have high expectations. It looks good, right? Like, I guess what happened for those of you watching right now is I think Asmongold had a interview with one of the developers, and this dude Lazy Peon, who used to make videos about this shit like a long time ago. A long time ago, used to be into Classic WoW and all this. Like, he made a video on it. A few content creators made videos on it. Now everybody's hyped about this new MMO, Ashes of Creation. You're watching it in front of you right there.
Oh, there we
go,
yeah.
That's why we're talking about it. Like, it came up, and a bunch of content creators, like, I don't know if it was rigged or not, or if they did it. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. So, Defcamp seems pretty optimistic about it. Did you watch the trailer?
Yes, I watched the trailer. Let me just say this: I'm optimistic that it could be good. However, I want to put a really big caveat on it, guys. We're fucking over 2 years away, right? Over 2 years away from this game. They are promising so much. It could go the way of fucking Star Citizen, right? Where they promise all shit. It looks like it's going to be amazing, and then they never deliver, or they never do this. Yeah. So I want to just say this with a grain of salt, guys. The ideas that they have are amazing. The ideas, right, of what they could do. Like, so you just saw someone flying there. Only like 4 people can have flying mounts like at a time per month, and it's like you have to basically, back in the day, is like if your guild was able to like clear Nax, then maybe you could get a flying out, like maybe. So it's like, and you only get it for a limited amount of time. Like, there's the ideas that they have, a lot of the systems that they have, the node progress. Each server is going to be completely different from other servers. The servers will have different progress. So it's like the game isn't linear like that. The game is very sandboxy. There's outdoor raids, there's indoor raids. The PvP system looks really cool. The ideas that they have, what they're trying to do with it, is very, very, very like prestigious. It's really but there's so much that they have to deliver on that I feel like it's going to be really hard for them to actually deliver what they're saying they are. That's my only big worry about this. So it seems promising. It seems good. It seems amazing, but it's almost like too good to be true.
I remember a game that seemed promising and good and amazing, and was Guild Wars 2, and it sucked. But I watched this. I didn't watch this trailer. I watched a couple of gameplay trailers. I think a year ago or 2 years ago. I don't know how long it's been in development. It's quite a while, right? I don't know, man. I can't be hyped for MMOs anymore since Guild Wars 2. I was super hyped, like over the top hyped, and it wasn't what I expected.
So this is how my goldfish ass mind works, bro. I go through and I just like pause at certain areas and I just think to myself, does this shit look fire? Like, does it look cool to me? Like,
It can look cool. I mean,
like,
So
I'm
going
Wars
off
2
of
looked
the visuals
amazing.
you're saying,
does this look good to you? Like, I'm actually curious. Like, there's some shots where I see some of the more cinematic shots where they're showing a city where it looks cool,
Yeah.
and then I see some shots of like a guy on like a flaming bear, or like some kind of teal colored dragon or something, and it looks
But I think looks is one thing, and I think it looks
Yeah.
decent enough. I mean, WoW looks, to me, it looks great, but to some people it doesn't. But it doesn't matter. WoW is fun, and it can look as good as you want. But if it's not fun, I don't care about it. I mean,
Exactly.
and that's something you can't really see in those things. And in those trailers, you don't actually play it.
Ooh.
So even if it's a gameplay trailer or
Right.
someone playing it for 3 hours, 3 hours playing it might be fun, but playing it day in day out might be really boring.
I just paused the screenshot here. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. Like, this looks fucking cool. Like, I look at
Yeah.
this grass, the terrain, high textures, like this monster, the way he's sitting here. That shit looks absolutely fire.
It looks
Like,
very
I
nice,
like
yeah.
that, right? And let me just show some other.
Mhm.
Then I mean, okay, this is fine. This is fine. Like, I'm just trying to find. What do you guys think, Chad? As far as like just looks wise, art direction wise, that how does this tickle?
I like it.
Tickle your fiddle or whatever the fucking thing.
I think it's decent.
Kind of
I mean, it's
ESO-ish.
better than decent.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Better than
Yeah, it looks very good. I mean,
There you go, play
but
that,
it
Kargoz.
really reminds me a lot of Guild Wars 2. It basically looks like.
Oh, there's
It's-
housing systems as well,
Ooh.
guys. Yeah.
I like the terrain.
I
think
just
I'm a
wanna
sucker for terrain, dude. This terrain looks
See how
nice.
it does. If people like it after a month or two, then it's worth visiting. I
Here's
guess.
the thing: the visuals, one thing, Kargoz. I think both you guys really need to listen to all the things that they're trying to do and implement in this game. That right there is what got me excited about it more than anything.
That's the big brain way to approach MMOs. You the gameplay and how fun it is should be the
Mm-hmm.
driving factor. For me, I can't play a game that looks like dog shit. I just like it's impossible. Like
I understand, but like classic. Well, a lot of people think classic WoW looks like dog shit. You
It
know what I
doesn't.
mean?
It
Yeah.
tickles my fiddle, man. For some reason, I like the art style, how everything looks.
It's
This
very-
guy's riding a sea
yeah.
otter. This is a little suspect right now. This man's riding. Okay.
Wait,
I
so Alex
think
said Ashes
it,
of Creation.
it looks. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I just wanted to read what Alex's comments was, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Now,
Yeah.
what I want to say is like a classic WoW, at least even with like the new graphics, it looks intentionally cartoony. So that's why it is a very iconic style, and that's why it still looks good, so to say, because it just didn't want to look super realistic. It was intentionally cartoony to the extent.
Melderon said the sea otters got him. He said the sea otters got me, so I can't fucking play this game.
Right?
They sold
That's
the
what I'm
sea
saying.
otters.
Melderon and I are on the same page. Like, so look at this, like some big ass blue lightning. I don't know. It's kind of suspect, man. Like it doesn't. Let me put it this way: it doesn't make me get out of my chair and go like, "Yo, take my money, man." Like I want to play this. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
I get what you're saying.
I mean, I understand, and like, I think I got like. Here's the thing: you gotta be very careful when it comes to hype fucking bandwagon shit. You know what I mean? Because people know where to hit you. People know what buttons to push to get you excited over shit. So, from what they're saying, they know that it's like they're saying that it's going to be $15 sub, right?
They could shot a plasma
that there's,
rifle.
Like, no cash up, all this kind of shit. So, like, I don't know. That's what I'm hearing as well. But Alex said Ashes of Creation has tons of MTX and shop years before it even got into the alpha. So I know for a fact that there are like, it's like if you want to play the alpha, you have to pay money or something like that. Look who knew they even have takeaway MTX. You have to buy it before it runs out of time. That does sound a little sketchy.
Yo, they copied
but it is
Zanger
being
Marsh,
crowdfunded, right?
Tell me this is not Zanger
Yeah.
Marsh. They copied Zanger Marsh. I mean, it's fine. Zanger Marsh is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You know, I think so many MMOs copy off each other a little bit. I mean, like, dude,
WoW is the copy.
WoW copied off a lot of fucking.
I have a
shit,
very
too.
fleshed
So,
out
yeah.
global, so I have a standardized test that that I run that like does it pass the furry and weeb assessment. So far, it does pass the furry and weeb assessment. I don't think this game is for furries and weebs. All right,
Good.
which is good, which is very good for me. That is like very nice. But at the same, that looks really nice.
Yeah. My concern is I think they're trying to deliver too much. I think a lot of it, like a game that's 2 years away, It sounds like they're just trying to get people really excited and like, you know, oh, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have that.
Yeah, trying to get people hooked. Exactly.
Exactly, and I think they're just promising too fucking much. They're gonna end up having to cut some of these features. I guarantee fucking you.
Is it a large studio that's working on it, or like?
I don't know. I know it's being crowdfunded though. It's like being it's I think it's crowdfunded, and it's like so it's just the same way that Star Citizen is, you know, like. I think this has the potential to go the same way Star Citizen did. I'm just saying that is a possibility.
Okay, so at the risk of my own downfall here, because I don't want to just complain about something without providing like an alternative. Okay, there's a little midget here walking around. This is like very upsetting. All right, but
it's a dwarf, dude. Come on, dwarfs are Tolkienian, bro.
That's true. All right, well, anyway, see, like this is not just doing it for me. Like I'm not just like, okay, let me show you something that really got me going right now. Like it really got me going, big time. Because I want to show an alternative right now. So you see the color. We got a decent look at the color palette they're using here. It's kind of whimsical. It's bright. It's colorful. You know, it's not full on furry weeb, but you know, it's colorful. Check out the color palette of what I'm about to show you right now. Like I wish I could even just play the. Hold on. Here we go.
The dream continues to.
I think we all know what this is,
right?
It always starts with a journey.
I mean, I'll just play
to a distant land. There, I find a city in flames. Streets choked with corpses. Unthinkable destruction. I witnessed.
Oh my god! For a second, I thought it was a moonkin.
Against
because of the antlers.
Pure hatred.
Pure hatred.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's a lot more gloomy and dark.
Ooh, take my money, man! Like,
I'm actually really worried about this game, though, guys.
They burn my eyes.
What game? I've never seen this before.
Diablo 4, bro.
Oh, Diablo 4.
I awaken in terror.
Let alone the cinematic. This is gameplay.
Against them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pause it now. You get the picture, but let me pause it right here. If you look at the color palette, it's way darker. It's redder.
Yeah.
It's richer. It's fucking edgy. It's got just destroyed trees. People getting their spine ripped out. Like it just looks so cool to me, man. Like, and this is the type of thing that I saw at BlizzCon, and I was oh man, it made me think that Blizzard has a separate department of people that are still, you know.
Kargoz. You're okay. Listen, man.
Here we go.
You're judging a book by its cover. Okay?
That's all I do in life, bro. I'm a sucker for art assets.
I understand, but dude, okay, the game does look beautiful. It does look dark. When I got to play the demo at BlizzCon, right? It felt a lot like Diablo 3 when I played it.
Yeah.
A lot like Diablo 3. And I know we're still
very
years
far
away
out
from it coming out. But you gotta remember, this game is being designed by fucking Blizzard. Activision Blizzard. Okay? That's all I gotta say. I mean, that's all I gotta say.
True, but just
look
at the art style, man. You might be right with the gameplay.
At Warcraft 3 Reforged, bro.
But that art style looks like Heroes of the Storm. There's something about Diablo. Like, just say if you were to ignore, I wish it wasn't even made by Activision Blizzard. I wish somebody else made it. But when I just look at the art style, it calls to me. It makes my heart yearn for that in my life, bro. Like, it looks so fire. Like, this does not look hot fire. Tell me this looks hot fire. Anybody in the chat think this looks like hot fire?
I think so, actually. It looks pretty good. But what I think an MMO needs is different color palettes. You have to have the bright ones, like the green ones, the white ones with the snow, and then the dark ones. And if you have a good combination of things, then I like the world, and I like going from one zone to another, and it's an entire new adventure if you enter a new zone. And that's one of the things I basically dislike in some of the WoW expansions, like Legion, for example, in my opinion, looked a bit the same in all zones. So as long as there's a lot of different zones, I don't care, really. Then it's good.
Yeah.
And Diablo is all dark, but Diablo is not really my type of game, and I think it looks neat, it looks good, and it looks fantastic and all that stuff, but...
Yeah.
It's not an MMO. Yeah, it's not an MMO.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. This is the only thing I like. It's almost like me venting, honestly, bro, because I just wish more games were like this. And French Tech is in the right. You know, you guys are balancing me out here. I'm a little bit of an extremist, right? Like saying that not all of us like dark high fantasy. That's partially why I'm so into WoW again right now, because I was able to kind of make the game look a little darker with my own UI. But there are some of us out here who wish games were kind of savage like this, bro. Like, this is the opposite of all the woke games you see. Like, motherfuckers' spines
What do
getting
you
ripped
think,
out. Like, this is, I don't know, man. Just I hope.
What did you think about the Heart of the
Diablo
Swarm
3
trailer
reskin.
from StarCraft 2? Because I thought that was still one of the best damn trailers to.
Oh my god, it was amazing.
It's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
Because it was also very dark and very intense and explosions and shit. Like, what do you think about that, Kargoz? Like, did you get hyped for that?
I have to go back and watch it again. I love the logo. Look at the logo, man. What does the Ashes of Creation logo look like? I'm about to find it right now. Like, this cinematic, the Diablo cinematic. I don't know, man. I mean, I know it's made by
Diablo
Activision.
4 is gonna be Diablo 3 reskin. I'm calling it right now.
Wait, I mean, that might be true, but yeah, that might be true. I mean, like you said, it's not an MMO. I get it. I'm in the minority here. I get it. Like, I'm honestly not trying to sell you guys on this. I just love that, man. I love the Diablo and Witcher are the universes that did it for me the best, and Lord of the Rings too. Like, just that kind of serious style. I don't know. Anyway, so anyway, what are you guys' thoughts? Hamster, are you excited for Ashes? Or are you gonna play it? Do you think it is it get you going? Dude,
Man,
based
to
on what
tell
you're
you the
seeing?
truth, like I only really have time. I just have a limited amount of time these days to play WoW. I just want to do other things, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna delve myself into a completely new MMO. I mean, there's been MMOs out that I've played after WoW, but I just never got into them, never. And I don't know. I might give it a go, but again, it's like 2 years from now. I don't know where the hell I'm gonna be
Yeah.
in 2 years.
That's a
the
good
curse
point.
of being a
That's
WoW
a-
player. Like,
That's a good point, though. I was always thinking if a very good new MMO comes out, I might go and play that. But maybe I can't find myself learning something new. Maybe it's too much work to learn something new, and maybe that's why I keep going back to Classic WoW over and over and over.
One thing that is like kind of like a curse of classic WoW, or WoW in general, is that like there's so many games that I wanted to play that I never got to play because I was just playing WoW so much. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, Kargoz, I think one thing that like how you feel about the graphics and the visuals, it's kind of how I am about combat. Like for me, if the combat system is bad in a game, I can't fucking play it. It has to have a good combat
true.
system.
I
It's
mean,
one of
it's
the most
true.
important things to me.
Yeah,
Like Diablo could look the best fucking game in the world, but if the combat system sucks, I can't play it.
It's more. I mean, it makes sense. The way you're explaining it, like games, it makes sense. Even I did an MMO podcast with North, by the way, for like a couple. We did a bunch of episodes, and like they had the same thing. They were saying the same things you guys. Like their mind starts with the gameplay. Is it fun? Is it balance? All this, you know. Like my mind starts with the art, man. Like if it meets if it matches that, then I continue to step 2 and like see if I can play this game, you know. So, but I hear you loud and clear, man. Ashes could be a great game, man. Like I'm not saying I'm not gonna play Ashes. All I'm saying, for whatever feedback that's worth, is that worth to you. The art style doesn't reach out and grab me by the collar and say, you know, this is it. This is what you're gonna put your life into next. This is what you're gonna invest into. Diablo does though, man. If they came out with a Diablo MMO, I might have to, you know, scrap another 10 years of my life
Blizzard,
or something.
though. See, here's the thing. Here's the problem with MMOs right now, is that a lot of the really good MMOs that look like they're going to be coming out are being created by people who are really passionate about MMOs. Problem is, though, is people don't have enough money or enough means to create a game that need the resources exactly. So they do crowdfunding. So they do this. So they end up cutting half the features that people are really excited about, and then it comes out being a pretty shitty MMO. Like that's what I feel like so many MMOs are doomed to fail. And a lot of the big companies right now just aren't willing to put that much, because it takes a lot of time and resources and a fuckload of money to make an MMO.
Yeah, it's a huge investment to them, so it's not that. And
If you describe, sorry, go on.
Now, the last thing I wanted to say is that they're just looking at what is trending right now. So, like for instance, battle royale games, they're just like, oh, that's trending right now. We're gonna put money into that. And MMO might not be as popular as it was in, let's say, the mid 2000s or like the late 2000s. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind. It's a huge investment, and whatever company or the investors, they're just following the trends. Like, this is popular. It's a safer bet. We put money into this rather than try and take a huge risk with a new MMO.
Yeah, if you describe it like that, then maybe Ashes of Creation has a good shot of being decent, right? Because it's crowdfunded and they take a lot of time to create it. I'm not saying it's gonna be good. I mean, it has a good chance.
Okay, out of 10 hype level.
Yeah,
out of 10,
there's no big company like pushing it.
Right.
Is that right?
For Ashes, what is your hype level for Ashes out of 10? 0 out of 10. 0 to 10 out of 10. And hype, that's for the chat too. What do you guys think about Ashes? Everything you've heard so far, just like taking the totality of everything you've seen so far, Asmongold's thing, the videos you saw, how hype?
I'm at a
how hype
I'm at a cautious 6, I would say.
I'm not
5.5
hyped.
at 6 myself.
I didn't watch the latest videos. Last time I watched anything about it was over a year ago, so probably I'm kind of interested in seeing this. Maybe 1, 2.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I'm not hyped. I mean, I can't remember the last time I was hyped about a video game. Even Classic, I was genuinely excited for it, but I wouldn't say it's like super hyped or anything like that. So 1, 2, yeah,
Like,
probably.
this shit kind of looks like.
You know what I'm hyped for? Age of Empires. Age of Empires 4.
Yeah,
That's
even then, I'd
yeah.
be excited. Not hyped, but oh my god, yes. I can't wait for that one.
Age of Empires, the new Age of Empires.
yeah.
Dude,
Yes.
I love it. I was saying the other day, the game that I spent the most time playing other than WoW, I think it was Age of Empires 2.
I can't wait to convert trebuchets again with my monks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yo, I've been playing the Age of Empires 2 soundtrack on Stream Hamster. You gotta listen to it, bro. It's gonna bring you back like hard.
I heard it. I heard you play Schamberger, that one very iconic song. It's oh my god.
Yeah,
dude,
that game was amazing, dude. Like, there's some shots like this. Like, this is kind of Diablo-like to me. The way the city looks, like Ashes can look kind of nice, like there. You know. Like,
So wait, Kargoz, how hyped are you about Diablo 4?
for Diablo 4, like, I swear to God, I'm not lying for you. This is not a Blizzard sponsor. I know nobody at Blizzard. 11 out of 10.
Wow, that is insane. When's it coming out?
I've never had an art style speak to me so much, man. Even when we were there at BlizzCon, it almost felt like kind of a soy boy cult for like 80% of it. But then there's one section of Diablo where the logo was like hanging from the ceiling and it was all red, and you know they had all these screens playing everything in super high def, and you get in the line, you sit down at the computer lab they had there for you. All the computers looked amazing, and it just reached out and grabbed me by the collar and said, this is the universe for you, man. Like, this universe looks amazing. I love how gritty it is and everything like that. So just purely, I hope that they come through on the the gameplay, right? But
I do too.
I really hope it works, because I could see myself making my channel more focused on that too. Like if Diablo became huge or something, like. And I don't even like the whole idea of the what do they call it, a dungeon crawler type of game even that much. I'm more into MMOs, personally, but it just looks so good that I would want to give it I want to give it a shot.
Alex said something earlier. It was interesting about Star Wars Galaxies. That's one game that I wish I played more when I was younger with Star Wars Galaxies. I fucking I personally I think that would have been, and I kind of wish another Star Wars MMO would succeed, because I love the Star Wars universe, and like I personally want a really good like space MMO, like a space game, like where you could like have your own fucking spaceship, go to like different planets and shit like that. I think that would be fucking awesome. I know that's kind of like
I fully agree. I think there are like 3 big universes in which MMOs can succeed, which is Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, and then WoW. But WoW is basically Lord of the Rings. Basically
so you,
2.
You guys played Diablo 2, right? Back in the day. So, did you? Hamster?
I didn't.
Okay, you didn't, right? So I played it, but very, very little. Like, I remember my mom bought me the triple pack of Diablo from Costco, and like I put it in, and I was on my grandparents' computer, and it was kind of scary to me. And I played it.
Wait! Your mom bought a game which was called Diablo. Your mom was
no, it was, yeah. Well, like I was telling her to buy it or something. It was like it came in, the battle chest or whatever. It had all 3 of them, and so I remember playing it. So I played it. I played it a little bit. It was kind of scary back then, right? So, but I wasn't like one of those big brain Diablo players, so I know very little about Diablo. But what I'm getting at is if they made a D2 remake, like a remaster. I know like they've scuffed it with Warcraft 3, but I've tried playing Diablo 2 on stream before, and it was a super fun game, but the graphics were really dated. Like it felt like it needed a fresh coat of paint.
Isn't there like at least, I know there's a lot of old games, but if you look well enough, there's mods where people just add like an HD patch.
Yeah, I tried those.
Oh, yeah. Nothing? Okay,
no, it still looks pretty good. It looks pretty good, Hamster. It looks way more serviceable when you put the mods on. But, would you guys be hyped with that, though?
Yeah, like, D2 changed my life. I would be very worried what happened to Warcraft 3 Reforged. Warcraft 3 Reforged literally looks like a Chinese mobile game.
Warcraft, yeah, it does. It looks like Heroes of the Storm meets. Yeah, true. Yeah.
And the online literally looks like a Chinese mobile game. It was so garbage. I've heard so many people say like I tried to do online matches and I just got disconnected, or the other guy got disconnected. And they promised all this shit like the really fancy cutscenes. They cut that. They didn't tell us. They were like, "Sorry guys, it's horrific."
I can't believe what they did to that fucking game, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, guys, Melderon wants to join the call. Chat. What do you guys? What do you guys say? You want to hear Melderon? You won't be able to see us really that well, but it'll be okay because Melderon is gonna be.
Get him in here. I want to hear what he has to say.
the chat can handle a little bit of scuffiness.
Yep, nothing they haven't seen before over here at Kargoz Gaming. Let me see, how do I add him? Melderon. I think he's in it already. He can just join.
There he is.
Oh, there we go.
Yo.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, man?
Yo, I got my work shit done. Sorry, I just scuffed the cameras. I realized I scuffed the cameras.
I can fix it right now. I got way more big brain in it. Here, just give me a second.
So, you want to get in what we're talking about right now?
So I heard you guys talking about Diablo, so I wanted to get in here. I think if done right, a Diablo MMO could redo the whole genre, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's the play. If I ever, I'll say this right now to the chat. If I ever had money to the point where I can start my own game studio, I would design an MMO revolved around a dark theme like Diablo.
Melderon, I love you, bro. Did I ever tell you that, dude? Oh my god, Melderon. I'll join the team, man.
Damn.
Well, okay. Here's the thing, though. Like, haven't so many people from Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, aren't they gone? Like, isn't the guy who made the music too gone? Like so many people.
Blizzard North left because of issues with. So I think I could be wrong here. The chat probably knows better than I do, but I think Diablo was supposed to be the MMO that came out instead of Warcraft. And a lot of the assets were scrapped from a World of Diablo to make World of Warcraft. I could be mistaken, but when you look at all we talked about this before. I think I always want to make a video about this. You guys realize how much was taken from Diablo 2 and Diablo 1 in Warcraft?
Yes.
Like outside of the hero, so there was as you know in Warcraft 3 you have a hero, right, that levels up with you as you go on. So outside of that structure, which was taken directly into World of Warcraft, everything else was basically from Diablo.
Talent system, gearing.
Yeah.
I mean, Diablo 2 changed my life. It was one of those games that for me I played a lot of, and I think Diablo 2, like towards the later packs and stuff like that, they were going the route. It looked like it was going towards an MMO. Like it was like the next logical step for Diablo 2. I feel like then they end up doing WoW, but a Diablo MMO just makes sense so many different ways. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of us think of like the WoW way with factions, Alliance and Horde, this, that, and other, but a Diablo MMO, I think, would literally be probably one of the best games I've ever played.
Absolutely.
I am just 100% worried that Blizzard could not deliver on what
just look at these trailers. Imagine your character looked like that, man, and imagine it was super dark and scary, like really dark and a nice music, and you're walking through like the dungeons actually felt like.
Yeah, what Defcamp's saying, it's still Blizzard. Like they've shown they can't really.
But some people at Blizzard are making these. Like this doesn't look like Blizzard at all. But some people clearly they have
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's a different team that does Diablo. It's completely different. But
it is. But Blizzard North needs to be back. Yeah.
Don't you think people will be put off a bit because it's too dark for an MMO? That's what I would think.
I don't think so. I think
if I was an independent game developer, I'd be okay with that, right? So like if I had the money to independently develop a game like this that was revolved around a dark theme, I wouldn't care, honestly, because I think there would be enough of a player base that would want to play it that would
definitely
keep me going.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just feel like every MMO is just too all-inclusive. Like they want every type of person, and I don't think that makes for a good game.
And that is the problem with Blizzard, though. That's the problem that Blizzard, I think, is why Blizzard would have such a problem making Diablo MMO, because Diablo is made for a certain type of people.
Just imagine you were zoomed in action cam like this. Imagine your action cam walking around.
Yeah, dude, it would be amazing. It would be fucking amazing. Like the Blizzard of old, the old Blizzard could definitely do it, right? The Blizzard of old could do it. The Blizzard of today would unfortunately probably not be able to deliver.
I was telling Defcamp we were actually. Oh, sorry, I don't know if you guys did hear that, but I was telling Defcamp about this, that imagine a dungeon where you go in with your party and you have to have torches or lanterns or you can't get through it. Like it's that dark, right? So there's like you're in an abandoned mine shaft, or you're in like a church that's been desecrated, and there's no light, and the only light you have is either from your spells or from a torch. I don't know, man. That just like stuff like that. Cool, it seems so simplistic. So cool.
And it would take one of your hands, so that like maybe you couldn't wear a shield if you had a torch, or
Just look at the logo
in
too.
The alpha of Vanilla WoW.
Compare this logo to like the Shadowlands logo or something, man. I don't know. Like it just looks. So
I think
nice.
You said, Melderon, you don't necessarily want to cater towards too many groups of people, but I think for an MMO it's kind of important to cater towards different groups of people, because it adds to the MMO. You choose a role, you choose something you want to be, it's kind of fantasy you want to play, And if you have, like in WoW, night elves or dwarves, or on the other hand, undead or orcs, that's different types of people, and they play the same game. I think it adds to the game. If it's all dark, like in Diablo, I think you missed something there.
I understand what Kargoz is saying, because if you want to have all the color palettes and all the other things and stuff, that's why MMOs kind of get this homogenous feel of like, oh, it all kind of feels the same because they all want to have all that inclusiveness. If you just focus on, okay, screw all that, we're just gonna make a super dark MMO, no pretty colors, just darkness. I think that'll actually be
I think it's how you spin the lore, Dunedain. So let's say that the world is dark because of something that happens, right? And then your goal is to bring life back to the world, or to revitalize things. And this way you can have like different schools of magic. You can have like holy priests that come in and try to like help. You can have like druids or shaman, which we wouldn't normally think would be in the dark MMO, but since the world's being ravaged by some darkness, right? You can actually, and as the game progresses, you revitalize the world in certain aspects.
But then you have different types of regions again. Then you go back to the lushy forest and stuff in the end game, right? And that's fine.
A dark, mature world that kills off characters and keeps them fucking dead, bro. Keep them dead. I want some tragedy.
Have a hardcore version. You could have I think the MMO with a hardcore version too. Like, here's the thing, right? We're talking about bringing different like people together. What Melderon just said too, like if you don't like the dark aspect, you can play like a cleric or something like that brings the light, like and brings that. Have a hardcore feature. Have this. You can have a level of exclusivity with a game like a Diablo MMO without trying to pandering to people. Oh, I like fucking battle.
You know how they always bring back new characters. Like they'll kill off a lore character and then they revive them over and over again. Like all that. Like I want that dark, unapologetic world that doesn't give a fuck. Like the story is going and you're just a small piece of it.
I'm kind of I would probably not play it, but I'm probably a minority here.
Rich storytelling.
The power level was that, right? TBC was a very dark expansion. Right.
Yeah, but you can still start as Night Elf and start in Lushy Forest. I like to have both sides. I think it's cool that you have undead on the other side while I start as a human or a Night Elf. I think it's nice it's in the game and there are zones where I can go to where it's dark, but I don't necessarily like being in dark zones from the beginning. If I started undead myself, I'm always very, very happy that I can leave that area. I don't like it.
It's pretty cool, man. Come on.
I can't play it longer than a few days. I would probably stop playing if it's all like that. But I'm probably a minority here.
You're saying if it's all dark, like you want because it doesn't like they can still do lush rainforests and plains, and they have ice too, which is bright. You know what I'm saying?
Like starting zones can be like that, right? Starting zones can be a lot more. Like those are the only pure places of the world, right? Are the starting zones and maybe the major city, like the one major city or whatever,
like a safe haven or something.
Yeah. But I think all the dungeons and adventuring should be dangerous and should have a very dark aesthetic.
And I agree. And like the thing is, you're fighting against evil in Diablo, right? So like Dunedain, like even though you don't like the darkness and the evil, like you're the antithesis of it. Like right, you're fighting against it. You can be that holy paladin who brings light to the where and and make that change. That's why I love Diablo so much. Is like the enemy is fucking evil. Like you feel a purpose to kill it. It's not just like a faction thing or whatever. Like you're literally destroying the forces of fucking evil. Even though the Diablo lore is more complex than that, the angels are kind of.
I have a vision in my mind, man. I have a vision in my mind of a very low power level, and you walk into a small town, a small village, and it's dark, and there's crows up on the top, and there's just a little bit of moonlight, and you're covered in a cloak, just like Lord of the Rings, right? You're walking in there, you open up the door, and it's that classic scene. You're going up to to the bartender, and you're asking for something, and there's all these shadowy figures all over the place. And it's the quest, the storytelling is rich. The quests you're doing aren't like you saving the world. It's maybe to just go take out a local, ruffian from the town, like the town drunk or whatever, and you go slice him up, and his fucking spleen drops out on the table, and like you just go, then you go redeem that for like a couple pence of copper, and then
But just like Lord of the Rings, I like the first movie the most because it's beautiful and green and lush, and then the Elven Forest and where the hobbits live. So I like the third movie and the second, and I like those I mean, it's cool that they have to go to the Mount Doom and stuff, and then all that stuff.
I think that's a good point.
My favorite.
But I also think it's been done so much, right? It's
I
been
guess
done,
so.
The Elven Forests have been done so many times, and I feel like it's time for something a little bit different. I guess is what I'm getting at, right?
I'm always glad when in the movie they go back to the nice green areas. Then it's like, oh, I made it again to this part. I like this more. But I guess it's preference, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think the reason why for me, like, why I love Paladin so much in Diablo is because, you know, you are basically like the bringer of the light, the person that is like the destroyer of evil, and exactly. And it's like, it feels so strong lore wise. It feels so purposeful, and for me, you know, you can't have light without the darkness, right? So when you do have in games like this, when you do have beautiful places and the light, it's you appreciate it so much more because there's so much darkness around you. So when you have that, you know, beautiful forest or that beautiful mountain, that beautiful lush scenery, you appreciate it that much more because you're surrounded by so much darkness.
Yeah. I think just like every type of like, so there's different kinds of music, there's different kinds of food, there's different kinds of, and I think those things speak to everyone, right? And I think I think at some point it turns into folly when you're a game designer and you just try to get it all in. At some point you fail, and I don't know where that is.
Did you ever play The Witcher, Melderon?
You know, I actually haven't.
I know you haven't, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about playing it. But just watch 1 minute of this trailer, because you might really love it. Because The Witcher is one thing, like, there's still hope for CD Projekt Red. People hate Blizzard, but maybe CD Projekt Red can deliver. This is one of the coolest cinematics, top 3 cinematics of all time for me. Like, and it's everything and more that I feel like that would really resonate with you, Melderon. It's just like, it's beautiful. It's actually beautiful. I don't know any other way to put it.
You are hereby sentenced to death
Yeah, it's very short. It's
by
very
order
short.
of the Emperor of
I'm gonna turn the volume up so you can hear it.
for the murder of the wounded,
Yeah, turn the volume up,
looting,
Kargoz, on it.
cannibalism. You are hereby sentenced to death by hanging or torment.
The 2 horsemen.
Don't
hoods
meddle.
on. See that?
Take the reward and let's go.
Help me!
Knew you witches wouldn't scorn imperial gold. Tough hunt.
Tougher than yours, that's certain. Evil is evil. Lesser, greater, middling, makes no difference.
Bring her down. Do it my way. You like that, you bitch? Get the hammer. Kick her teeth in.
The degree is arbitrary, the definition's blurred. If I'm to choose between one evil and another, I'd rather not choose at all. Just make it quick, Geralt.
What the?
Close your eyes.
Hit him. What are you doing?
Killing monsters.
There's another one as well, so I know you're still watching.
So if they made an MMO that was built in a world like this, I would download it like today. I would buy it today.
Right?
So
Like,
one of the things I want to say about The Witcher is like they perfectly blend that Polish dark art style. There was that artist. What was his name? That Polish artist that really, I forget his name. That really dark sense of he was amazing. I forget his name, but they blend that Polish dark medieval kind of feeling into that amazing gameplay, into that, like, it blends so much together into like so.
And The Witcher still has bright areas too, right? Like however they did The Witcher is so good. There's one last one that I'll never bother you again ever. I'll actually like pay you $20 just to watch this. I'll pay each one of you $20 just to watch the next 4 minutes of this right now.
I'll watch it. I don't care.
Right, like this is because I just think you're gonna like it a lot, man. This is the last one that I promise I'll shut up forever. Here we go. Here, hold on.
Oh.
asleep
Uh-oh.
amidst the trees. Bats all asleep.
Oh, this one's great, yeah.
In the breeze. But one soul lies anxious,
The sickest nerd
wide
chills, man.
awake. Fearing all manner of ghouls, hags, and wraiths.
Nice tune. Been a while since I heard it last.
Folk have forgotten it.
Got other things on their mind.
Things like me.
They paid me for you.
In times past, no amount of coin would convince a witcher to take this contract.
Times have changed.
Dunedain looks like he's about to shit himself.
Then the fucking sick music plays.
He's gonna bubble hard.
It's all silent for the night. Cows turned in as daylight dies. But when soul lies anxious, wide awake, for the witcher, brave and bold, paid
Yeah.
in coin of
So the other part about this game that's so amazing
he'll chop
is the
and
fucking
slice,
music.
Yeah.
and dice.
So this is what I'm getting at, right? Like in a world like this, I'm not saying exactly like The Witcher, right? But a world where there's obviously this darkness that's pervading the world, and it's just, I don't know, man. Like I would play this game instantly if there was an MMO like this.
Me too, man. This came out in 2015 too, bro. 2015, like
Yeah,
May 2015. Like, I'm so sorry if I'm coming off too strong. I'm just kind of an extremist like this, guys. But like, you're my people. We're talking to our people. We're cut from the same cloth. You know, like I wish, man. I wish.
Damn. Okay.
What about? Sorry, Hamster, man. Did you see? Did you see? You guys all see this already? Probably, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
let me tell you, if I like Melderon, if I had a company where I could develop my own MMO, I would actually go something like completely different. I don't know if you guys ever played Mech Warrior, those games. Anyone?
No.
Well, it's basically
We're going back. We're going back, right? Mech Warrior's pretty old, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's pretty old. They
Yeah.
released a new game, but it's basically the idea of you're controlling a really big mech with tons of guns and missiles and stuff like that. and there was a game called Steel Battalion. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. It came with this giant controller with 2 joysticks and buttons and pedals and stuff like that. Like that in a MechWarrior universe as an MMO, that's what I would throw ridiculous amounts of money at. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think there's clientele for that too. I think there's definitely people that would want that kind of world too. I mean, and then you have like, dude, there still hasn't been a good spacefaring MMO yet.
That's what we were just talking about as well. Yep.
Like, that's another one.
That's what I want, really, personally. I want a good spacefaring MMO. But Beksinski was his name, the artist who I was thinking of. So I feel like the artist. Kargoz, Google Beksinski.
Beksinski.
And look, yeah, BEKSINSKI.
SIN.
And look at BEKSINSKI and look at some of the pictures.
All right.
That's the controller, by the way, in the chat.
Zwijislaw Beksinski, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. What the fuck? That controller's insane, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
Holy shit.
Just show the people
that. Like controlling a mech with that thing in an MMO and everyone has the same thing, hundreds of buttons and shit. That's cool.
I love that. Yeah, but that painter, he, like, for me, I like some of my favorite paintings, but that puts, you get that kind of feeling in a game, like an MMO. With, like, yeah.
So I can search too.
One second, let me put it in chat again.
I'll put the guy's name if you guys want to Google him. He has some really cool shit, man. I mean, I feel like we're all speaking the same language here. I really do feel like, even when I look at your Defcamp and Melderon logo, when you have like the angel guy that's like, you know, with his wings and stuff, like we all kind of want that same universe, man. And WoW, for example, I love WoW, don't get me wrong, right? But it is kind of like a space game, you know. It's kind of like a space kind of.
Not in the terms of like what I want a fucking game where you get a spaceship, go to another planet, and fucking.
It's like a cutesy space game as opposed to like, I don't know, like StarCraft.
I mean, it's space in terms of that you go to Draenor and shit like that. That's, you know, and you have some fucking aliens that you play with. That's about it, you know.
Yeah, it's not really. It's not technically sci-fi, I guess. It's
yeah. So the thing about Witcher, like, that I would love to, like, the gameplay, the combat style, the aesthetics, all that, like, if you had that in an MMO, it would be perfect. It would be a perfect game.
I agree. I think that I'm all I'm saying is I would play it. I'm not saying that Dunedain is wrong and that there's something about a classic elven dwarf Tolkienian MMO, right? Like, everyone loves Tolkienian MMOs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that if we had, like, if there was enough good MMOs out there, there would be room for other things like spacefaring, like dark fantasy, like mech, steampunky, whatever. I know MechWarrior is not steampunk. I'm just saying that's like
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
right. And there's just no talent out there. There's no talent. I just feel like there's no good game companies out there that are willing to make
no one to make it. Yeah.
So the big MMOs are a huge undertaking.
That's what we were just saying. The MMOs are the most money time, but the thing is, like, someone needs to Star Citizen, that game never came out though. Like, someone really needs to have that image and deliver it. Like, the thing about we're looking at Ashes of Creation is they have so many ideas what they want to do, but it's like it's too much. Like, there's no way they're going to be able to deliver on all that. And I feel like, you know, some people they get the right idea. Like, you know, when a game is developed by someone who is a fan of MMOs, that's great and all, but like a lot of times they don't have the money, they don't have the means. They try to crowdfund and they end up cutting half the fucking ideas that they had. And, like, you know, Star Citizen, when the fuck is that ever going to come out? You know, I wish, like, Blizzard had the direction that they had, you know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, with the capabilities that they have today, right? They have the direction and the capabilities they have today. They could create something truly amazing. And who knows? Maybe, you know, I don't know. I wish, like, I hope that Blizzard can someday reclaim that. I hope that they can become the company that we believed in and who they were back in the day. But
I just think can be another company. Someone in chat said something about Game of Thrones and MMO that would be very nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
We need something,
But,
something fresh, though, man. Like, if
yeah.
you look at this, the Ashes of Creation, I don't mean too hard of it. I might play it, you never know. But, like, they got the tooltips, the bars at the bottom. Like, I don't know. Isn't it about time that we get something that just shakes the foundations of MMO shit? Like, something that's, like, really, absolutely, whether that's VR or whatever, whatever it might be. Just some
new foundation. Yeah.
Radical new way of experiencing something shockingly different and fresh.
I might be old school, but I think Classic WoW is perfect. So if they just use that system, I'm never gonna be mad.
You mean
many the combat?
The combat
like, I like it. But many new MMOs or basically new MMOs since Vanilla WoW tried different combat styles, and honestly, I tend to like the old school vanilla combat style the most, with just clicking buttons and targeting by clicking on it.
Did you play Guild Wars 2? It's funny because I played it too, and one thing I did like about it is the fact that you could dodge attacks, like melee attacks, by doing some sort of like the right key combination at the right time. I really like that. There was no like, I'm just gonna take hits because I can't do anything. Maybe I can pop evasion from a rogue, but you can actually, if you're good enough, dodge attacks. And I thought that was really cool. So
I like that too.
Well, it was for some time. I think they overused it a bit though. You had those world events and all those mobs in open world that you could dodge attacks from, and it got old really quickly, I would say. In PvP, I think it was fun, but not so much in PvE for me personally.
These guys go too crazy with the particle effects, man. I feel like I'm watching Fortnite. Look at they just get purple.
Yeah,
shit,
I noticed that at
blue
one
shit.
point.
That
Cargoz
little wall, like somebody built a Fortnite structure right there. You see that? Like,
I didn't know
that dude's
what that
white
was.
dress, dude. Man,
what is he doing? Is he building a fucking structure like in Fortnite? I was like, oh my god, I hope not. But,
rapidly decreasing hype levels.
But to come back on the combat thing, they can add little things like dodging, but for me, they don't need to reinvent the wheel, basically.
Okay, sure. I would like to see it though. Something
This is
like,
what the people
Kargoz
want, though,
stuff.
man. They make data-driven decisions. I don't know, man. I don't know. They're
well,
not dumb. They're trying to
data-driven
make money.
decisions are fucking like data-driven decisions are built to bring in money, and like that's the sad fact is that a lot of people, even though most of us hate, fucking the stores and all this kind of shit. That's the data-driven decisions. They know that that'll bring in the money, but it doesn't create a good game. That's the problem. It creates people that who want, quick, like.
Yeah.
The sad part is as a fucking species, humans, like you said, Kargoz, we do take the easiest, quickest way to fucking things, right? So when people see that there's a cash shop and this, that, I might not do it because of my principles. You might not, but a lot of the majority of people are going to sit there and they're going to buy shit that's going to make their character better, do this, do that, and it's going to end up being a shitty game. Because of that, but so we have to put some kind of limitation on that. We have to put some kind of
the problem is a double-edged sword. The people who have the best intentions, when it comes to game creation, usually make suboptimal decisions when it comes to making money, and these things never get off the ground. I think that's the problem. Is you have to have on your team a combination of people who are true entrepreneurial spirits and those who are not. And I think if you have a good combination of that, I think you can make it. But the problem is like, if you make the wrong decision, what was that one, Star Citizen, right?
Yeah. Like,
if you're not business savvy, and if you don't know how to, I don't know. I just feel like the people who are like, if the five of us decided to make an MMO, I think Kargoz has a very good mind for entrepreneurial spirit, right? He has a very good entrepreneurial spirit. I know that I don't, and I think that we'd probably be all right, but I feel like there's that umph you need. You need that business savvy to kind of move in to navigate this market. Yeah. And it's like, I just think true fans of MMOs will never make it because they just don't know enough about business. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
it's a long-winded answer.
I understand what you're saying, and if you're a team of enthusiasts that wants to build an MMO, and you got to hire some financial guy, of course that financial guy probably is not going to be as interested in an MMO. He's just trying to make sure the expenses are not getting out of hand. So it's very hard to find that fine line between passion and creativity, but also keeping your finances.
That's well said.
It's really hard to balance it out.
It's tough
really
to do
hard.
it. for whatever it's worth, like I'm not the guy to talk to when it comes to gameplay, but art style, it is it looks pretty dog shit to me, to be honest. The more I'm looking at it, they have some moments where I see the terrain, and terrain looks really nice, and I'm a sucker for this nice looking water and grass. And I see a motherfucker pulling up in like one of those like Vietnamese ao yais, and he's like running around like shooting like a some purple particle thing out of his like Fortnite space.
Yeah,
plasma.
What they should be careful with is particles. Too many particles that
it feels very
fucks up.
retailish.
It fucks up all the good things they did with the world. So and
Absolutely.
it's also not fun to watch, and you don't know what's going on if everything is flashing.
Again, this game's at least 2 years away out from and like I said, they really promised a lot, and that could be a big issue.
If you look at Classic WoW, by the way, it doesn't have a lot of particle effects going on.
No,
and
I like
that's
that.
something I
Perfect
like.
in that way,
Yeah.
And that's so someone said this in chat earlier, but I wasn't in the call. But that's why it ages so well. Is that so? This is realism, right? It's aiming to be realistic, and therefore, it number one won't age well. Number two, it won't it'll kind of put a certain amount of like barriers on what you can actually do. Whereas WoW is a cartoony style, or I wouldn't sell cartoon.
Whatever
It's
you
more of
want,
a high fantasy designed aesthetic, and that means it ages well, and there's a lot you can do with it, right?
Yeah.
But the world is fine. I was more talking about the combat animations. If they overdo that, that's just plain annoying. Something Guild Wars went too far in, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just about to mention Guild Wars, and I'm right now playing Tariwao, the Mist of Pandaria. Like some of the battles and the effects, especially in BGs. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just getting old. But I just look at that and go, "This is just literal LSD fireworks for me."
Yes, dude.
Too much for me. It's
true.
These dudes are riding anteaters right here.
It's in retail as well.
Yeah. No, but you're absolutely right, Hamster. It's like sometimes you feel like it's just a fucking you're on some kind of acid trip or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, there's
exactly.
just so much shit going on.
And the funny thing is, in Classic, you're raiding with 50 more people, but it looks way more just clearer and just better for some reason.
I tell you, dude, retail WoW is developed by people that all have ADHD or something like that. It's just like it feels like they need everyone like, oh my god, like you need to constantly be looking at like what's flashing on the screen. Someone's yelling at you over here. Do this quest. Do this. No, do this. No, do this. No, do that.
Any people like 35, 40 plus in the chat right now, like they can verify this. It seems like back in the day, like, and this is way predates like the MMOs I try to play. But when I look back at those old school MMOs that came out, the first is the that first wave of MMOs, right? Like, maybe you can, I mean, even EverQuest is one. There was that Baldur's Gate. I saw that the other day.
Oh yeah,
Dark Age of Camelot.
Dark Age of Camelot. It was way more serious and darker, and more like the light that they cast the universes in is a noticeable difference, man. Like they're making things too fruity. They're making it too fruity, like these days, man. They need to 100%. Scale it back.
And Abraham Lincoln just said it too. Like Abraham Lincoln. Yep. Great. He said it's like movies. Same thing with movies. A lot of movies focus on graphics and special effects, etc., and spend less time on worrying about the actual plot of the fucking movie. Exact same fucking thing, dude.
Dude, remember when we watched Commando this weekend? So Commando, if you guys don't know, is Arnold Schwarzenegger classic, right? I'm a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. And there's like scenes where like we were saying, the stuntmen are actually doing these fucking stunts, right? And movies cost so much. Like you were saying, Defcamp, movies cost a lot more money back then too, and there was so much like dedication to like, so much work, and now it's just like, let's pay some guy to make a fucking image of someone jumping off this thing,
with CGI instead of actually making the entire decor and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's sad, right? Because it also shows like kind of who we are as a fucking species, that we're so easily fucking and it goes with phones and like who we are right now as a species. It's like everything has to be quick, everything has to be flashy, everything has to be
faster.
When back then everything was so much more meaningful. You could sit there and watch a movie that was just dialogue and the story was amazing, and like nowadays, no, you have to have fucking fireworks, you have to have all this shit. But it's the same thing that goes into every aspect of our life, whether it's in our, like I said, on our phones and fucking social media and this and the other. Like, I think we need to learn to appreciate, like even the art style, Kargoz, the little things, and that's what I love about Classic WoW so much is, I really love to appreciate the little things in Classic WoW, the leveling process, what it's like for me playing a warlock for like the first time this time on my hardcore, appreciating all the little nuances and stuff like that. It really is trying to make me change like what I do in other aspects of my life, and appreciating things for what they are, and not just fucking being this mess of like it just taking in all these other things at once. It's the same thing with food, like, right, sit down, enjoy your food, eat it, like, don't it's with everything. It's you want to balance it and appreciate what you're doing, what you're playing, what you're eating, what you're watching.
I mean,
it's so sad, man.
Just to add to it, when was the last time you guys actually sat down and listened to a new album? Just did nothing else, not work, just
I can't tell you.
Sat down and been like, oh man. Like, people used to, I haven't done that in years. I mean, take any like 13, 14-year-old kid and play "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" from Pink Floyd. That 4-minute intro. It's beautiful, but they'd be like, 10 seconds in, they'd be like, where are the lyrics? Where's the chorus? It's like they can't handle it.
You're so fucking right.
Yeah.
I
did listen to the new Tool album before I actually listened to it. That was the last
full album I listened to, I think.
Yo, you guys,
but like, dude, when I was a kid,
ride this for a mount. Want to ride this for a mount?
When I was a kid,
so my only,
I would literally lay in bed and like listen to a fucking like album all night long. Like, I would do that that's what I would do. Yeah.
But now I got my smartphone, so I can listen on Spotify while I check Tinder, while I check my Instagram, and like all these things at once, and it's all instant and super quick, and it's very convenient. But convenience doesn't always mean better. It's just quicker. I mean.
So my only issue with this game, honestly, guys, is the art direction. I think it everything else sounds great. I think I will definitely try it, but my only issue with this game is the art direction. That, and I think it's going to be a balancing fucking nightmare with the 30 classes that you're able to be, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Art direction, but there's also a little bit more to that for me, because I see, maybe this is considered art direction. I saw a plasma rifle, and then I also see guns and swords and stuff.
What?
So how do you balance that?
Really?
I swear to God,
plasma rifle?
Someone had a fucking plasma. I don't know. It would shoot a big
What
particle.
is this, Destiny?
Yeah, it
Destiny
looked like
2?
a plasma rifle, man. He shouldered it and fired it, and it shot a little projectile out. So I mean, I guess WoW has guns too, but I don't know.
64 classes. 64 classes. How the fuck are you going to balance that?
And how do you make him
there's 64 possibilities, right?
Oh, okay.
No,
it's 64 classes, Def.
Right, but no. So here's the thing, right?
There's,
I don't know, there's like 8 classes, right? So there's cleric, blah blah blah, all these other ones, and once you hit like level 40, then you can mix that. You can get a piece of another class, right? So you can be part cleric, part fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so but the order matters. You can be part fighter, part cleric too. That's
I understand that, but. Like there's like 8 base classes, and then there's 64 possibilities of what you can.
Yeah, but it still results in 64 classes.
I understand, but I just want to give that as a caveat.
The meta slaves will cut that down to like 10, right? That'll be cut down immediately, and that's the problem that I'm worried about, right? It's like, why introduce so many classes if the meta slaves are just going to fucking ruin them, right? And it's going to turn into 10.
We're too far out to even have any understanding of the gameplay, though. If we're not in the alpha, the gameplay, like, we just have no idea.
Yeah, but how long? How long will it take for the meta slaves to realize what's the optimal raid composition?
It could be built in a fundamentally different way, though, that we just don't even understand yet mechanically. Like, the whole mechanics is just a whole nother beat.
Exactly.
All we can comment on at this point, IMO, is just looking at it and seeing if there's that initial pull. Like, do I want to play this? Do I think like I like this universe? Does it look?
Well, watch the video too, Kargoz. Like, listen to the whole thing too. I would say.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Well, I haven't, to be honest, so I should do
that. But you're right, because like, here's at the end of the day, guys, we're so far away. Like, if you're hyped about this game, it's fine.
Plasma rifle.
But
I saw it again. Hold on, sorry, my bad.
If you're hyped about this game, that's fine. But realistically, dude, like, it's so. Oh, there it is. Yeah, the rifle. It's so far away. It looks like a gun from WoW, kind of.
There you go.
It's so far away. It's so far away, and it's also. Like, they're trying to deliver on so many fucking things that take it all with a grain of fucking salt, guys. Like, they are definitely trying. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
See, plasma rifle, right? That's a plasma rifle. Someone said there's no gunpowder.
I guess.
I don't believe there's no gunpowder, but you have plasma rifles. I'll tell you that. It's a right
Yeah,
to
like
imagine.
for me, like Christopher,
It's a magic right.
like forget this game right now. Just bring TBC. Absolutely. That's how I feel.
Well, yeah, but let's be honest. TBC, like we talked about this. You guys talked about this in the beginning, right? TBC is going to have the same fate as Classic, right?
Well, we
And
hope not.
that's
We,
true.
it's
Possibly.
And what's
possible
going to
that's
happen?
it.
What's going to happen after Wrath? We have to have a game that comes out that's going to be good.
Yeah.
Like it has to be.
No,
Ultimately,
We
need
go
a good MMO.
Cataclysm, and then we go Pandaria.
Oh God, no, I don't want to play that.
Yo, I want my
Warlord.
character just look
Warlord
just
Classic.
like that, bro. I want that exact kimono, bro. Please, yo. Can I get the collector's edition kimono?
Yeah, and then we go back to Classic.
No, we'll
Let's
have
not
Warlord
start with-
Classic by then.
Oh.
Warlord the Classic.
Garrisons reimagined.
You know what though, guys? Like, is it? I think you're. Whoever said this is right. Like, MMOs are going to have to drastically change for them to like. We're gonna have to either MMOs are going to go the way of the fucking dinosaur, which I hope doesn't happen. I don't think it's going to happen, or they're going to have to drastically take some kind of shift in like, because people have tried to copy the WoW recipe for so long and it hasn't worked. We have had some minor successes. We have games that were fun to play. Like I said, MMOs are so much money, so much time. But
If I had $1 for every time I saw the next WoW killer.
Oh my
Jesus
God, dude.
Christ.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know, right?
So we'll see what happens.
Let's wrap up, boys. We've been here for a while.
Yeah.
Yo,
Sure.
I'll give it a shot with Ashes. I'll try to have an open mind, like, because that's the worst. What is that one expression? You don't want to get too settled in your own ideologies. You got to keep growing and stuff. I'll give it a shot. All I can just offer is my opinion on the art stuff or whatever it's worth, and you've heard our piece on it. So, any last words, guys, to the people?
Keep on and grinding,
Blizzard, don't make the same mistake with TBC you did with Classic.
please.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And good luck on the AQ patch.
Thank
Gate
you.
opening.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Any of you going for the gate opening thing? What's it called again?
You're going for the
opening event?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean like ringing the gong stuff. Is any of you going for the title?
being the
no.
the
We're not going for Sierra.
no.
Oh, if
I'm
someone
not
in the
going
guild,
for the shifter, yeah.
if someone in the guild who's the scepter indeed, who's gonna try.
Yeah,
So
our
we'll
server
see.
it's not possible, really.
We're lucky Onslaught is on our server. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Except for the shifting stands.
I think we might have a shot. I think we'll see.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
Alright.
I had a lot of fun today, guys. Thank you so much. This was episode number 50. It's crazy, isn't it?
It is. indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hamster
Right.
again. We were like, thank you so much, brother. It was
No
fucking
problem.
awesome
man.
having
It's
you.
been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you guys. So thanks again for having me on.
Dude.
Always a
It's
pleasure,
nice,
dude.
man.
Franklin.
Always a fucking pleasure.
So I got to reach out to Willie. Someone said on Twitter that he'd be interested in coming on. We should have him on next
Oh,
week.
nice.
That'd be
That'd
awesome.
It'd be sick. Yo, where can the people
Yeah.
find you? Hamsterweel and Dunedain. For everybody, shout out all your channels and stuff too. I mean, in case by some miracle there people don't know already where to find you guys.
Shall I go first? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Hamster.
Just
Yeah.
go. Just look up hamster wheel on YouTube. I'm sure you're gonna find some videos of actual hamsters in a hamster wheel. But just click on the channel with WoW like nerdy shit, and that's me. So there you go. You can find me there. I do have a Twitter and Facebook, but I barely ever do stuff with that. So just check me out on YouTube.
I typed in hamster wheel and you're the first thing that popped up. So.
Yeah, there you go. You're
Okay,
more popular
awesome.
than an actual hamster in a hamster.
Nice.
wheel, dude.
I
Oh,
finally
God.
moved up over those stupid hamster videos.
Dunedain, how about you? You still streaming and all too?
Not lately, but I might do it again in the future. So yeah, this is the
Oh, yeah.
Discord. I will link it in the chat. It's mainly the guild Discord, but if anything from YouTube, I will link that as well, or from Twitch shows up, then I will post it on the Discord as
Oh,
well.
nice. Yeah, and
That's it.
I've started streaming again. Kargoz inspired me. So yeah, I started streaming again on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Defcamp. Melderon and I are gonna do a duo hardcore. I fucking it's so much fun. Kargoz, you got to do
You doing it
duo
again
too.
tonight?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Doing it again
tonight. Well, yeah, maybe after our practice or something.
Yeah, that sounds
We'll
good.
see. We'll see. If
Well,
not tonight, definitely
we'll see.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
But and you guys know YouTube Defcamp Melderon TV is our channel.
Hell yeah.
So Kargoz, you're gonna stream now, right?
I think we'll take a little break, get some lunch, and then I'm gonna come
Okay.
back and stream some hardcore. Yeah. Stream some
Okay, nice. So I'm gonna watch you, dude. Yeah. want to see how
sounds
beautiful
great.
the graphics are.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to show you guys lots of new exciting stuff on the UI. I've been tinkering with it for like hours and hours. So thank you very much for watching again. No disrespect if you're into this game. You know, different strokes for different folks. At the end of the day, it's not that serious. It's easy to get fired up in the moment, right? But you know, we're a small enough community as is, right? Let's just try to stay together with this shit and keep it 100. So have a good day, guys. We'll see you in the next one. I'll see you.